Okay. Boom. It's Apollo. So yeah, this documentary is like 10 years in the making, I guess, and they finally got it done. If you aren't familiar with this, I won't spoil it, but it's about the 2014 Classic Tetris World Championship. Kind of whatever went along with it. Which, as you know, means there will be a lot of Jonas. Keep our head up high. Tissues nearby. Yeah, I'm watching a little bit of volleyball. Normally I would watch volleyball, but it's like there's so many other things that are like kind of more short and immediate gratification. So it's hard to sit there and just stare at watching volleyball. When I could be like, oh, I could watch 25 races instead. That kind of stuff. But watch some skateboarding. You name it. My friend is texting me about it right now. He loves running. All right, let's see. Let's go. So there's 5 episodes. I don't know if we'll get through them all tonight or not, but maybe we will. And if you miss some of it, come back to it. Whatever. It's all going to be fine, right?
This documentary was not sponsored or endorsed by the Tetris company.
I'll leave this. I'll leave the
Tetris gameplay have a strobing effect that may affect photosensitive viewers.
I'll leave the closed captions on.
This is a story about people who play Tetris on the original Nintendo console.
It's us. It's us. It's us. It's us. It's us. It's us.
A game so hard, it took 15 years for anyone to get videotape of a 1,000,000-point game.
Dude, the post-credit scene is about Apollo.
You lose every time.
You know, I didn't know if I was ever going to have a chance to win.
Sometimes you play when you shouldn't be playing.
Harry Hong. Harry Hong is the reason why we
universally people have that feeling where they're like,
can't talk over Jonas.
This is a story.
Harry Hong is the reason that we know Shanna
Tetris player
and Booster.
I want to be the first person to beat him. Obviously, I was not done playing Tetris.
Then you have Tetris pieces that are falling from the sky.
What was frustrating for me was this shouldn't be happening. I stepped back and I was like, okay, there's something I'm doing wrong.
Getting frustrated, literally tears of frustration. I remember that.
Everyone has their controller that they really dig. They flew across the country with. It's personal to them. They know its nuances.
It's true.
It's
true.
Like they know how to make love to this thing. They know the little tricks.
I wouldn't go that far.
So you're gonna bring Turd?
I'm bringing Turd, yeah.
A competition to decide once and for all whose skills,
We've been there.
talents,
We've been there.
whose performance under pressure could defeat anyone.
Take a deep breath, play well.
You have to deal with the stuff that you're given.
You have to play that way in order to be that efficient.
There are situations where nothing is good. Everything is
What's
a bad
crazy
move,
is in
but
this-
you have to ask yourself,
in this
what's the least
tournament,
bad move?
At this time, there probably won't be a single
But
person
this
under
isn't
30.
a story just about victory. This is a story about not giving up.
It's already outdated. It said you lose every time. It's outdated.
In 2010, Robin Mahara set out to create the Classic Tetris World Championship, or CTWC.
Another documentary
There's an
about
entire
this.
documentary about
Oh, he's saying
called
it.
Ecstasy of Order.
You should watch it.
Robin, along with the film's director, Adam Cornelius, and producer, Vince Clemente, put on the tournament
There's
in
Vince.
Los Angeles, inviting the best players they could find. Robin had a personal history with Tetris on the Nintendo. As a kid, he came in 3rd place at the Nintendo World Championships, also known as the NWC. Back in 1990, kids across America competed in a triathlon of 3 games for a combined high score in the NWC. The main game was Tetris.
It's crazy how like they had that
20 years
event,
later, the first CTWC,
and the kids who did that
emulated
are
the
still
NWC.
around being
To
nerdy
qualify
gamers
for the
today.
tournament, players competed for high
That's how you show
scores.
that was a legit event.
The final 8 then played 3 rounds to see who would end up at the top of a combined high score leaderboard. At the end, the 2 highest scoring players, Harry Hong and Jonas Neubauer, played head-to-head games to crown a
I
champion.
love like Jonas in his football jersey era.
In later years, the tournament changed. The bracket expanded to include 32 players. They compete in a single elimination format. Each match is best of 3 games, with the higher score winning each game. Lose 1 match, and you're out. At the end of a grueling day, the top 2 players face off in a best-of-5 series. In its 5th year, CTWC organizers allowed a film crew to follow the action in Portland, Oregon. After 4 years, it was no longer about finding the best Tetris player in the world. It was about whether anybody could beat Jonas Neubauer, the 4-time world champion.
Absolutely not.
One, two, three.
In the
That
early
Quinn
years
with
of
long
the
hair?
CTWC, 2 players stood out, Jonas Neubauer and Harry Hong. Jonas won the tournament 4 times in a row, but in 2 of those, he faced Harry at the end. These 2 players kept running into each other at the top of the game. Going into the 5th year, Harry's name came up in every interview.
Who do I want to win this year? That's a tough question. I think the overall sentiment is not Jonas. Like, if I had to pull for someone, it'd probably be Harry.
I mean, a large part of me wants Harry to win because he's come so close.
I'd like to see Harry win, just because he's been through so much.
He is incredible. If he was never born, Harry would have won every year. You know, it's just, it pains me sometimes to think about. He is so effing good.
It's like being born
So
at the same
I would
time
like
as
to see
Usain Bolt, you know?
If it's not me.
The biggest rivalry in classic Tetris is Jonas versus Harry. And it's been that way since the beginning, when the organizers were planning the first tournament and filming their own documentary.
The original idea for the film when I was first pitched it was that it was gonna be Harry versus Jonas in the theater. Like those were like the 2 best players anyone could find, and it was like there's no reason why these 2 players can't play against each other, you know? It's kind of funny that that's happened.
The top Tetris players have fans.
Well, I was handing out these flyers saying, hey, come to the Tetris Championship, you know, qualify. They're like, oh, we can't qualify. And this little kid was like so excited. He was like, I just want to see Harry Hong play. So him and his dad were coming to just watch. He's a fan of Harry Hong.
That kid,
getting his autograph.
Blue Scooty.
Part of the way that you make it a spectator sport.
Just kidding.
Is you
Blue
have to
Scooty was
have,
even younger than that kid.
You know, Magic versus Bird, and that's what I was kind of thinking. Jonas and Harry, I think, are the 2 best Tetris players in the world, and I'm comfortable saying that because our tournament is a marathon of sudden death play. You have to sit in that seat 5 times, and if you make 1 mistake, you're out.
I'd never played NES Tetris before, but Harry signed up on Hard Drop and he was talking to me about it, and that's when I found out about him. And I found out that he's one of the top NES Tetris players in the world. I think top 2 at the time, because he signed up around 3 years ago. So it was him and Jonas back then, and that was it. That was the conversation. Him and Jonas were the 2 possible choices to win the tournament at the time.
So who do you want to be the one winner of the whole thing?
The one winner?
Yeah.
Can I say myself?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, myself. I mean, you know, 2 second places, you know, so close, but you know, haven't gotten that top spot yet. So, you know, that's always the goal in any sport. You know, you're 1 game away, and then you lose like 3, 4 in a row to pretty much lose the championship. I mean, it'll hurt anybody, you know. One good thing came out of it, like, after I lost that,
It's a 5-part series, Nick. You gotta wait and find out. There's no way you can know the past to see what happened.
I saw one thing I was doing wrong. That I won't talk about.
But come on, so it's gonna be Jonas? Give me a break.
Tetris is a puzzle game that rewards rhythm, fast decision-making, and flexible thinking. It was invented in 1985. Since then, Tetris has become one of the world's most popular games. There is at least one flavor of Tetris on virtually every gaming system and computer system that has come out since the late 1980s. In 1989, Nintendo released its official version of Tetris for the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES. This version is considered a classic because it's simple on the surface, but reveals its
Miles,
complexity the more
Dog,
you play.
Pixelandy.
The name Tetris alludes to tennis, the favorite sport of Tetris creator Alexei Pajitnov. The Tetris playfield is 10 blocks wide and 20 blocks high. Puzzle pieces are called tetraminos. There are 7 tetraminos. The O, often called square. The T.
The block. It's a block. It's a block.
The J, which is a mirrored L. The S. The Z, which is a mirrored S.
I still don't know that. I still can't tell the difference between L, J, S, and Z.
Pieces enter from the top and drop, as if gravity is pulling them down. The player moves the piece left or right.
I hope Apollo's taking notes
and can
here.
rotate the piece as it falls. When a piece touches the bottom, it locks in and cannot be moved. As pieces pile up, they form a stack. When that stack reaches the top of the playfield, the game ends. This is called topping out. There's actually no way to win Classic Tetris. Every game ends with the player topping out. The score counter has 6 digits, so the highest possible score is 999,999 points. Achieving this score is called maxing out. In 2014, max outs were rare. Top players worked for years to get that score. They used a technique called DAS, which stands for Delayed Auto Shift. By pressing and releasing the left and right buttons at very precise moments, literally fractions of a second, players can move pieces quickly from side to side. In 2014, every top player used DAS. But back in the first CTWC, Thor Ackerland used a technique called hypertapping. This meant he hammered the left and right buttons, giving him an advantage. Thor did not compete in later tournaments. Classic Tetris is infamous for its RNG, which stands for Random Number Generator. The RNG determines which piece comes next. Classic Tetris delivers a random piece every time. We'll spare you the detailed math on how that works. In later versions of Tetris, the rules were changed so that players were guaranteed to get one of each tetramino within a reasonable period of time. But the RNG in this game is ruthless. If you need a particular piece, you can't count on getting it quickly. The goal of Tetris is to combine the pieces to fill up a horizontal line across the playfield. When a complete line is formed,
I hope you guys
it
already knew all
clears,
this.
and the game awards points.
Points!
If you clear 2 lines, that's called a double. There's a small points bonus for clearing 2 lines at once. Then there's a triple, which has a slightly larger bonus. But the big prize in the game of Tetris is clearing 4 lines at once. This 4-line clear is actually called a Tetris. So the word Tetris is both a noun and a verb. Tetris is the name of the game, and you Tetris by clearing 4 lines at once. There's a massive score bonus for each Tetris. And it can only be done one way. Create a gap in the stack that's at least 4 pieces deep, and then drop the long bar into that gap. Boom! Tetris for you.
Hey!
In classic Tetris, Experts start on level 18. At that level, pieces drop all the way to
I guess
the
I'm an
bottom of the
expert.
playfield in 1 second. Well, actually, 0.998 seconds. That's way too fast for beginners. But experts learn to play at that speed. If you want to get a high score, starting on level 18 is the way to go. After clearing 130 lines, the game advances to level 19, which is called the transition. From this point on, the pieces take 2/3 of a second to hit the bottom. That's one new piece every 0.666 seconds. That speed up is so intense that it often catches players off guard and causes early top outs. Level 19 speed is tough. By keeping the
True.
stack as low as possible, players still
I
have
can't play
just
it. I
enough
can't play
time
it.
to move pieces to
It's
the
too
sides
hard.
of the playfield. At level 20, the game does not speed up yet. Instead, it remains the same speed as level 19, but now the level, and thus the color scheme, changes every 10 lines. When the game reaches 230 lines, level 29 kicks in. This is called the kill screen, and pieces drop twice as fast, hitting the bottom in 1/3 of a second. That's right, 3 pieces hit the bottom every second. It's called the kill screen because it's just too fast to play. Level 29 will kill your game, usually in just a few seconds. There is a level 30 and beyond. Back in 2014, the year this series was filmed, only a handful of players had even seen level 30. It was considered nearly impossible because it required clearing 10 lines on the kill screen. So while it technically could be done, it had never happened in competitive play. It did, however, happen in future tournaments as classic Tetris players developed new techniques to handle high-speed play.
New techniques like the old techniques.
Terry Daniel Purcell II. I was named after my father, who was deceased. Never got to meet the guy, actually. Yeah, died just a few months before I was born.
Oh, that's sad.
Very volatile home environment. Had a lot to do with my stepdad at the time. My mother and my family moved away probably, and I'm not kidding, about 50 times between the time when I was first brought here to Oregon and the time that I graduated high school. We would sit up late at night in my mom's room on the bed, all of us, my brother and sister, my mom and I, and we'd just take turns playing. And unfortunately, when I was a kid at least, I had a very stressful, rough upbringing. And so I ended up using it as an outlet, or not an outlet, as an escape, pretty much. And I played that thing so much. My stepdad would get so upset that I played so often, neglecting pretty much everything, chores, schoolwork. There was one point where he threw it on top of our roof to get rid of it, and oh my God, it was a maelstrom of hatred that followed that NES everywhere we went. It was a complete and utter relaxation, and it separated me from what was going on, and I still think that's true today.
His stepdad probably had a bad
The first thing I wanna do
PB.
when I come home, I don't
Just
have a
jealous.
particularly stressful job, and in fact, I love my job, but I just need to decompress a little bit when I get home, and that's still what it functions as today. It's a way for me just to kind of let loose of whatever baggage I've accumulated over the day. You know, I didn't start playing Tetris again until like the beginning of 2013. I think there were like 7 people that year that maxed. I was like, F this, I'm gonna get going, I'm gonna do it. And then it took me another year before I actually did.
I mean, the story of Terry is, 2 years ago he showed up at the tournament in 2012 and no one had heard of him.
And I went hungover, and I had just come from a party, and I also had this memory of me being pretty much the best Tetris player that I'd ever met.
Many people who have convinced themselves that they're great on Tetris on this or that, oh, I used to play Tetris on Game Boy, I was the best on my block. It just doesn't translate. I mean, you really have to be specifically educated and trained on NES Tetris to have any chance of even getting into this tournament.
And so I showed up and I was like, I'm taking this championship home. These guys don't even know who this guy is. They've been defeated when I sit down.
He had maybe just seen the movie and he didn't really understand how the game even worked. So he played 19 only for qualifying, which is ridiculous.
It kills even good players almost all the time. And I was trying to be show-offy. And then I just continued to try to qualify at level 19.
No,
yeah, that's an awful strategy.
That's an awful strategy, yeah. But that was his strategy, and I think he came in like 30th. He still qualified, starting on 19.
I believe my high score for the day was 288,000, which managed to get me into the qualifying round, but I was so embarrassed I didn't even come back the next day. Then last year, I went back. At the time, I had not maxed out. I had 853,000, I think, was my high score. So I had just got back to where I was at the peak of my abilities. I went in there, and what killed me was my nerves.
So now he's understood, learned the game, put the most practice in, and he's there.
I think like Terry will like probably go up a lot higher just because, you know, he's been training a lot.
Terry's great. I think he came up to me and said, I've just been completely plagiarizing your moves. It's, you know, it's not plagiarizing, it's adopting whatever works for you. That's wonderful. And his improvement has just been great. I think he's been putting up great scores.
I'm really confident that I'm the best Tetris player in the world. Like, I honestly think that. I would be unhappy if I were to win without playing Jonas, but I would love to play him because I want to beat him. I sit down here and I do that very few people do all the time, and I do it more consistently. And whether or not that's because they play less than me, I don't know, but I do it. Like, I max. I play really solid 19 games constantly. Yeah, I really do think I'm good.
Dang! Back in the day, like, people would just show up for these tournaments. Like, they didn't necessarily even, they're just like, yeah, I'm good at Tetris, so they just show up. So before people could just grind Tetris
As
every day
Saturday
on Twitch.
begins, players wait in line to qualify for the tournament. The CTWC is held inside the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, or PRGE, in Portland, Oregon.
Been there, been there, been there.
The line is longer than ever. Inside, the organizers are ready. All the TVs are turned on and warmed up, and spare parts are on hand in case something breaks. To qualify, players register at the front desk. Then,
There's a
they
B-roll
stand in
of
line,
a Super
waiting
Nintendo.
to play a single game of Tetris at one of the qualifying stations. The rules are simple. Play one game starting on level 9 or higher. No pausing is allowed. Only original Nintendo controllers are permitted. Players can bring their own or use one provided by the tournament. When a player finishes their game, they can submit their score to a referee. The referee writes that score on a scorecard, along with the player's name, and submits it to the scorekeeper. After each game, players get back in line and wait for another chance. Some games end in immediate failure, known as an early top-out. Frustrated players yank their controllers out and wait to try again. The line itself becomes a place to socialize, as players catch up with one another after a year apart. This year, the organizers introduce a new feature: 4 stations on the stage, which are rented to players in 1-hour blocks. Players can pay to skip the line and play for one uninterrupted
Pay
hour.
to win. What's up, John Foster?
But many of the best players, including Jonas, stick with the line.
I like the idea of having to get back in line and waiting for a station because it
It's
adds
so
some pressure,
crazy.
but at the same time,
You imagine
it
like you're
allows
trying to
you
qualify, you're just standing in line
get
next to
into
Jonas.
game mode, get into tournament mode. It eases you in. It definitely favors people that get there early. Anybody can do that, so that's kind of on you to get there. So if you do max
They don't
out
do the
first,
line
you can-
anymore.
You can get the top seed.
Qualifying runs all day Saturday, from 10 a.m. until the expo closes at 5 p.m. As high scores are tallied by the scorekeeper, Sunday's tournament begins to take shape. The player with the highest score will be assigned the highest seed and will compete against the player with the lowest score. We're about to see something historic. One player entered the tournament using a pseudonym. His real name is Sean Ritchie, but this year he's going by Douglas Quaid.
Oh, I called him Quinn.
That's
It's
the
Quaid.
name of Arnold Schwarzenegger's character in Total Recall. Quaid's older brother, Ryan, is also playing this year. On his fourth game of the day, Quaid puts up a max-out score, making him the #1 seed. Tournament organizer Vince Clemente interviews Quaid.
So we have the max out here, first max out of the day, Douglas Quaid. How does it feel?
It feels all right. I'm just happy I'm beating my brother, and that's all that matters.
Do you have any words for the rest of the competitors today?
No, I don't. But go Luco. That's all I gotta say.
That last comment was "Go Bucco," referring to player Matt Bucco. Quaid and his friends have cheered on Matt Bucco every year.
Bucco!
I need the real power glove.
This is only the second time in history a player has maxed out during qualifying. Jonas did it last year. With Quaid's max out on the board, top players work to match
It's so
it.
crazy now.
Terry spent a frustrating hour at his rental
It's like
station.
if you don't max out,
then
you don't
gets
make
in
the
line.
tournament.
So yeah, I feel fine physically, but just nervous.
In fact, I think you had to max out like 3 times to make the tournament this year.
So there was an opportunity this year to do something unique and novel, which was you could rent a TV and a Nintendo for an hour at a time. I think it costs $20. I had the pleasure of sitting next to Harry Hong the first hour that I bought, and him and I slaved away, and both of us kept looking at each other kind of in defeat because we were both playing terribly. I think he got an 810 and I got a 798 in our first hour of play.
Later, a rental station opens up for an extra hour.
Vince made an announcement, and I was sitting at one of the stations where you could stand in line to play. And he made an announcement, the next person that comes over here and tells me they want the station can have it. So I just literally dropped my controller from the station, walked over there and said, I want it. And he made sure that there was no one else that wanted it first because I had already had a chance.
We have one available spot. If anyone hasn't had one yet, they can come over here and get one.
And so nobody else came up and said they wanted it, so I got it.
Terry's nerves are getting to him. He has one more hour to qualify, and he is not happy with his progress. Until...
Look at that TV.
Satan in the house.
Finally! Jesus Christ!
We got excitement in the back from Terry Purcell. What just happened back there? What just happened back there, Terry?
I finally played a decent game.
He finally played a decent game.
With qualifying over, the bracket is set. It's a single elimination tournament in which players compete in a best-of-3 format. In other words, the first player to win 2 games takes the match. The loser is eliminated.
We're already in the tournament. It's only episode 1.
Will be best-of-5.
How are we going to pad out the rest of this?
Quaid is set to face 32nd seed Rigel Pierce in the first round. The 3rd seed, Terry, is matched up against Ryan Ritchie. That's Quaid's older brother. 4th seed, Bo Style, will face Stephen Hughes. 5th seed, Harry
I went to school
Hall
with a Stephen
will
Hughes.
face Grant
I assume it's not the
Seifert.
same guy.
All of these matches heavily favor the higher seed. 2nd seed Jonas has an unexpected first-round matchup, but we'll save that for later. In the first round, the tough matches are among players with similar seeds. Skill levels are closer together, so these matches could easily go either way. One early match has Matt Bucco facing Dana Wilcox. Both players have competed in every previous CTWC.
She was in the first one.
Dana is one of the stars of Ecstasy of
She's like
Warrior.
Apollo. She only knew the one.
She's
Does the
also
one rotation
one of
button.
only 2 women to make the bracket this year. In the first CTWC, players like Harry and Jonas were invited to play because they held world records. But that year, Dana had to compete with other players to qualify for the small 8-person bracket.
Dana Wilcox, definitely a fan favorite. I mean, in that first year, we had a few people cheering here and there, but people brought signs like for Dana because they were really cheering for her. She was a very unique character, and at the end, there were a couple of slots for walk-in competitors, and Dana had to earn hers. And not only did she have to earn hers, but she had to go through Alex Kerr, and she kept playing and she never gave up. She kept going, and finally got a score that qualified in the end. She had to bump out Alex Kerr to get that last 7th spot in the tournament.
All right, let's hear it for Dana Wilcox. Great to see you again.
I love seeing her every year. I want to see her in future years in competition because just a great, warm personality in our community.
In 2010, 1 in 4 CTWC players were women. By 2014, it's down to 1 in 16.
Same two women,
Aside from
probably.
Dana, the only other woman to make the bracket is Kristen Stein.
I did have the pleasure of meeting Dana today, which was awesome. Great player. She definitely handed me some pointers, and I'm gonna definitely go home and take those pointers and try my best to achieve them. But we definitely need more women in the field to kind of give you guys like a run for your money.
Because of her travel schedule, this year, Dana becomes the first player in tournament history to qualify online using a live video connection with tournament organizers Adam and Vince.
Say the female players has not improved.
So what's that one, Dana?
That one's 447911.
447911. Well, just in case, you want to show that one?
I guess we might as well just look at it, right?
Okay, now hold her steady for a second.
Right.
Yep, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Dana's qualifying score earns her a number 19 seed. After defeating Matt Bucco in the first round, Dana faces Terry. 1 year earlier, Dana finished just above Terry in the final rankings. For both, it's a must-win match. Chris Tang called the matches live in 2014. For this film, Chris is joined by James Chen to watch the matches live in studio and offer new commentary. Let's meet the announcers.
Hi, I'm Chris Tang, one of your commentators, where we go back to these
Where's
matches
Sharky?
and talk about these historic matchups. Now we're here with James Chen, who has become part of our classic Tetris family over the years.
Yeah, this is exciting for me. Obviously, I came in part way through this and got to learn a lot about the history of the Classic Tetris World Championships. And, for me, it's been a joy to become part of the family. And, I've talked to so many people like Chris, who's given me a lot of the tale of the history. And now I get to see this and commentate these matches as if, like we're doing this live. And it's really exciting.
Yeah, and these matches didn't exist in this format before. So even though I was there the first time, it actually happened, being able to step into this time portal and do it again now with everything's one player versus one player, whereas before it was kind of like we had to talk about 4 players at the same time before. It's just a lot cleaner, and the technology that we've been able to use since then with what we call tray vision, where you have the 2 matchups with score differentials
and the burn rate,
and the drought counters and things like that. That wasn't around back in 2014, but now through the modern miracle and of modern technology, it's like stepping through a time portal and being able to commentate on these things through extra dimensional technology.
Yeah,
so.
you can see you on the film in the background over there. Just be careful. Don't talk to yourself. You're gonna cause a time rift here.
cause history to implode on itself.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into our first match here. I'm excited. Let's do some commentary for some classic Tetris matches.
Awesome. Boom, Tetris for you.
For this match, the cameras in front of the players were turned off. The filmmakers have inserted footage of those players from other matches for continuity.
Okay, folks, we're about to call up our round 2 competitors.
Who are we rooting for? We need to do gambling on
the
these.
Right side of the bracket.
Dana versus Terry.
To the stage, I'd like to invite Terry Purcell and Dana Wilcox.
The door was already open.
Terry, any thoughts going into round 2?
I'm a brainless zombie for Tetris.
He is a brainless Tetris zombie.
Hey, what's up,
capable of
Papa?
Speaking. Dana, any thoughts for round 2? How do you think
How's
it's gonna
the
go
rain?
against Terry?
I'm just happy to be here.
She's just happy to be here. Okay. Let's do the 3
Let's
counts.
go, Dana.
Round 2, you guys. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, here we go. The match has started here between Dana and Terry.
19th seed Dana versus 3rd seed Terry. Terry heavily favored in this match.
Yeah, coming in here having practiced a lot, claiming to be the best at Tetris right now. So this is where he gets to try to prove that.
Dana taking some burns early on, but Terry with Tetris ready early on. He could be the first to score. Boom, Tetris for Terry.
Yeah, so you can see right now he's at a
Good old
50%
Tetris Terry.
rate. You see on the,
It sounds like a
TRT on the side over there,
like an insult.
letting us know
Oh,
how many
Tetris
Tetrises
Terry.
that he has, compared to how many times he's had to just burn a line like that. You just saw right there.
But Terry burning down his second Tetris and now a third.
Yeah, so he's doing well here.
Come on,
and
Dana,
he's
get
at
it together.
63%, which is max out pace. Meanwhile, you can see right now from Dana's side, she actually has a 0% rate, so has not gotten a Tetris yet.
Yeah, Terry's up by 3 Tetrises now, so Dana has some catching up to do, and she does. Boom, Tetris for Dana.
Yeah, so that's her first Tetris.
I like
right
her
there.
Terry firing right back.
Mercedes.
Though, so she's still got to make 3 Tetrises.
What do you call this? Not decal, but
Yeah, so you can see how she's just burning a bunch of lines right now.
Hood
but that's
ornament.
going to be the second Tetris for her.
necklace.
Nicely done.
And Terry now having to do a little bit of burning to open as well. He's
Yeah, you're
Tetris
far
ready
enough
again.
inland that it doesn't
Oops,
bother you too much, right?
A misdrop right there. Accidentally slid the piece a little earlier.
I work
than
with
he
a
was
lot of
intending to.
Floridians. They're
Probably
always
trying to
always
maintain
something about the
DAS.
weather.
And here we go.
Yep, he's going to do a little digging to get the bottom of his playfield exposed again. So Dana has a chance to catch up here.
Yeah, you can see right now, Terry's just trying to get back to that right
But
side.
why didn't she
over
take the
there
Tetris?
So that he's Tetris ready.
Why
over
didn't she
there.
take the Tetris?
But the pieces haven't been. Actually,
There we
no.
go.
Now the pieces are doing well for him.
He's
So
cleaned up,
yeah.
dug back to the bottom, and he's going to try to get Tetris ready again. And Dana now with a lot of holes in her stack, so she's going to be doing some
Are you
burning.
gambling on the
But
Olympics?
she's caught up a little bit. She's only about a Tetris behind now.
Yeah, but unfortunately, she has to keep. You can see the little hole that she has there on column number 2. She keeps having to cover that up, so she's having a little bit of trouble getting through there. But that should do it, and perfectly with that L piece. No, actually, she's going for a column 2 Tetris.
Yeah, she's Tetris ready, waiting for the longboard. There it is.
Yeah, it's a dirty Tetris, as
Boom.
we like to call it.
Mm-hmm. Tetris for Dana. So Terry, in the meantime, has been making Tetrises consistently and has widened the lead now, up by 50,000 points. So Dana has two and a half Tetrises she needs to make to catch up.
Yeah, and I feel like because she knows that she's behind right now, she's playing a little more aggressive instead of trying to get to that clean play field with the Tetris ready on column 10. Look at this. She's going for these
she's
column
being very
9.
resourceful, taking them when they come. Boom, Tetris for Dana.
Nicely done. And now, look at that. Back to a perfectly clean play field.
Terry firing back with another Tetris, maintaining that 50,000 point lead.
And you can see
I've been watching that Peacock.
Tetris rates are both, under
Been watching
60%.
everything.
60% is about max out pace, and the both players just under that right now.
Right, they're playing a bit safe. I mean, early on, that's probably the wise thing to do. You don't have to take too many risks in a first match in a best of 3.
Yeah. Try to, pace it out, test your opponent, see how much that they are pushing you because Terry knows he's ahead right now, he can probably play
Dana's
a
in
little
trouble.
bit. Oh, dang, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, she's going to have to dig.
Oh, no.
Gets the right pieces.
That wasn't a good spot for that. What's
That's
she
a bit
doing?
Too high, and,
Dana!
Looks like she's going to top out. Terry ahead by 90,000 points, takes the first round.
Yeah, again, like I was trying to say, it's if you know that your opponent is not doing as well as you can kind of play safer.
Yeah, dial back the aggression, see what happens, and if your opponent tops out, then
like he's
you're
got
good.
the
so Terry takes the lead
earplugs
here,
in. That's what I would do too with all this
1-0
commentary in my ears while
over
I'm trying to
Dana.
play.
And again, this is just kind of the start of the road here for Terry. I mean, he really, really went at the qualification rounds, and he played like 2 hours straight on one of the rental stations. And then for the lines, he was just there for hours, just practicing and practicing. And again, even before the tournament, he was practicing a whole bunch for this match.
Yeah, here you go with the second round now. Terry up by 1. And both players having to do some tucks. Now, keep in mind that the players are not playing with the same piece sets.
in this particular tournament. So they have different pieces going in, and whether or not the game gives them favorable sets is up to RNG at this point. So both players just have to play the best they can with what they're given.
Yep, always praying to the RNG gods out there to hope to get the best pieces possible here. Ooh, and Terry there with
I was on my one wheel,
but because there's only one next
Sunday,
block,
and I
sometimes it's hard to tell.
hit some weird dirt
and
and
if all the right pieces
tried to save it and spilled out. So
Sometimes
I've got like all these like
a potential Tetris
road rash on my
burn.
elbows and back.
The players are always striving to score Tetrises as much as possible because they're worth so much more.
My
than,
elbows are like
singles,
purple.
doubles, or triples. But sometimes, if you have holes in your stack or you just need to stay safe, you have to burn lines that are not Tetrises, and that's what we call a burn.
Yeah. So Dana,
Kinda
right
sucked.
there, you saw a couple of burns there, and now is Tetris ready? And
Boom,
boom.
Tetris for Dana. Boom, Tetris for Terry. Terry with a nice tuck just to keep things
Tetris
clean.
Terry.
Yeah, just sliding those pieces in there. And where it looks like you shouldn't be able to get the piece in there, but again, these players are really, really good and really strong, so they know all the tactics that they have available to themselves. Okay, and boom, Tetris for Dana.
Terry up by 57,000 points.
One
so
thing I'm
Dana's still got
noticing
2.5
that
Tetrises
is that
to
they're
catch up.
both
Yeah, and he's
pressing
at a
down. They're both doing
70%
drop
Tetris
points.
Rate. That is really, really a clean play right now.
Yes, Terry on max out pace.
I guess there's no reason
And you
not
see
to
right
because
there,
they have
he had
different
to create a little
different piece
overhang,
sets.
but he's going to be able to tuck that piece right in there, and look at that perfectly clean play field again.
Yeah, Terry very comfortable with setting things up for a tuck to keep his play field Tetris ready. Something delayed burns and things of that nature. All is keeping you in position to score is key.
Yeah, and both players right now with beautiful, clean play fields. However, as you could see, do you see the little flashing red over there on Dana's side? That is the drought, which means obviously the line bars, the eye bars, the
eye tetramino.
Yeah, right there. That's the most important one because that's where you're going to get the only way you can score a Tetris. But sometimes RNG says, you know what, I'm not going to give you one of those pieces for a while. And so when you see that flashing red on the side, that is the drought of eyepieces.
But Dana surviving the drought and in position to score again. Super clean now, but she's behind by 114,000 points. So that's 5+ Tetrises she has to
Not looking good for Dana.
make to catch up. And Terry with a comfortable lead now.
I mean, look at that 76% Tetris rate, which is crazy. And yeah, and he has to do a little bit of burn, but you can see very comfortable. And now a Tetris to bring him back up to 73%.
Now we're at 77 lines now. When they hit 130 lines, what we're going to see is a transition speed. The game speed will increase, and the players are going to have to play a lot more defensively and a lot less aggressively because Tetrises are going to.
I just heard the women's national team, soccer team, is going to play a match here. We're going to try to get tickets.
With Daz, they can't slide the pieces over all
Against
the way
Argentina.
to the side if it gets too high up. So with the increased speed, and so they really do have to play a lot safer.
Right, and a lot of players want to make the most of their score before the speed transition.
Yeah, and you also want to try to transition with a clean play field.
You need to transition safely. You have to make sure that your field is below like the center line of the play field.
Yeah, and both of them right now, I mean, you can see right now Dana still needs to do a little bit more cleaning here. Getting a little unfortunate RNG. Oh, actually, no, never mind. That was perfect right there.
I guess I don't know.
It's just a triple. But at least her play.
I don't know how any of that works. It's in October. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Right. She's trying to drill back down to the bottom. She's got about 30 lines to do it before the transition. Terry looking super clean now. Tetris ready. Up by 8,000 points. Boom. Tetris for Terry. Jumping up into the lead. 100,000 points up in a great position as we near the speed transition.
Right. And again, this is the point in time where you know that Terry.
We've got a
Terry with a
pretty cool soccer field that they built.
And he can play
for
really
our
safe
club
right
team.
now. He can play very. I mean, if he
it's probably been 10 years now or more,
against
but
Dana,
feels brand new to me.
At this transition, he can play very conservatively.
And I
just
haven't been
hope that
before.
Dana because she's behind in points, might push herself a little too hard to catch up.
Yeah, Terry is about to make the speed transition there. Boom, Tetris for Terry. Tetrising into transition, 130 lines, now at level 19. You notice the speed increase is tremendous.
Yeah. And again, that just makes it impossible to get the piece over to the sides sometimes, depending on how high the stack goes with the Daz method of play.
Oh, Dana with the center well now, ready for a dirty Tetris, but she had to cover it up. So hopefully she'll get some pieces so she can drill back down and score with that.
Yeah, well, she's doing all right here. She's cleaning up, and that eye piece is going to be perfect, but the transition is not clean.
Right. She opted to play safe and take some burns to drill back down, so she'd be safe at speed transition.
Yeah, and look at that. Well done on Dana's side there to get
it
back
is the
to
magic
a clean
after all.
Field, but so far behind. You can see the score differential at the top of the screen over there.
There's
She is
definitely
down by over
some popularity for the soccer team
150,000
here.
points.
Yeah, and this being a best of 3, she has to win this.
People are happy to
round
have
stay in the
something.
match.
We don't have all that much
And so
other than
this is
college
where
teams.
Terry can definitely play a lot more patient, calm, not have to go for anything crazy. But I mean, Terry's playfield isn't looking so great right now.
Yeah, that's a bit messy. He's doing well to drill down, though, but he's going to be digging for a while.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's actually going to be really nice.
Yeah,
for...
some good burns there.
Yeah.
Well, they were a
And then
pretty
that
new
eye
team
bar
when
can
Shaq
fit
went to them,
perfectly.
right? So
Doubles. Yeah, he's
there's
doing
usually
it.
some
He's
excitement
getting
for
back down.
expansion team to begin with.
This is
and
what happens when,
I feel like once
you're
Shaq
the
left, it's been kind of
self-proclaimed
downhill ever
best
since.
Best Tetris player in the world.
All the way back down to the bottom. Awesome dig by Terry.
Yeah, beautiful stuff.
A lot of
there.
competition in Florida for
And
stuff to
Dana
do.
now, and the situation where she is not getting the pieces that she needs
Like
to get this burn. But
The
she's
baseball teams in
surviving.
Florida always
Surviving
have
and digging back
crappy
down herself.
attendance.
Oh, that is a problem. That box right there, that OP's dropped over there. Ooh, just got the eye bar over there in time.
Yeah, barely getting it over because at this speed, it's incredibly difficult to get the speed or to move your pieces.
Dana running out of time.
to the left or right.
Yeah. And she's surviving, but again, look at the score deficit at this point in time. Oh no! And then just a bad drop right there,
and it's just going to spiral out of control there. And Dana has topped out. Terry taking the match.
Yeah, you can see ending with a 40% Tetris rate. He was at like 70-some%, but like I said, by the time he got the big score lead, I felt like he could play safer.
Right,
he
play
didn't-
safer and just take the match without taking too many risks.
Exactly.
But good showing by Dana, definite fan favorite here in the CTWC. We saw her in the first competition and Ecstasy of Order, and definitely popular and a strong player. We love seeing her every year.
Now that we've seen our first match, let's review the bracket. All of the top seeds have achieved a max out at some point in their Tetris career, while their opponents are still working toward that goal. Here they are in order. Quaid is first with his max out.
I think Jonas didn't even
qualifying
max
score.
out. Come on, man.
Jonas is second. Terry is third. Bo is fourth. And Harry is fifth. Terry has now made it past his first and second round matches, putting him into the quarterfinals. Next up, we'll follow the other players to find out who will reach the final round.
Is that part one? All right. Oh, there's a little post-credit scene here.
I get dreams about Tetris, but they're dreams about winning or losing the tournament. And they're dreams about the people I'm up against. Stress dreams, basically, but they're not about Tetris. The more that people play, the more similar we become. It's like we are working towards a pinnacle of perfection, and that perfection is all the same. Other than Harry and Jonas and Thor, Terry is probably the most accomplished Tetris player. From a technical perspective, he has the earliest max out. He has a 19 max out, and those two things, the earliest max out I think of as the most sought after record, and the 19 max out just as a thing is one of the most sought after things, and he has both. My life has not changed much. I'm a very stable person. much like my Tetris stack. So I will remain.
Ben Mullen is awesome.
Scenes of Tetris gameplay have a strobing effect that may affect photosensitive viewers.
I got yet another injection on my shoulder today, so I'm sore. Hopefully this one does the trick. Save me! I didn't even know what, he didn't even tell me what it was, but some kind of steroid, I'm sure. I got one, but my original one was in a different spot on my shoulder, and it didn't help at all.
When the filmmakers asked players how they prepared for the upcoming tournament,
So now he's getting me in a different one, in a different spot.
Mixed.
He thinks it'll work.
Nothing to train.
He thought the
I've
last
done
one would
less
work too.
to train this year than any previous year. 2 days ago, I borrowed a TV from Terry and a Nintendo, and I set it up, and then I played for about a half an hour. So I am not prepared.
I've actually been playing less a little bit this year, I guess.
Well, I started working on my max. It was something called a VO2 max because I'm training for a half marathon. This has nothing to do with Tetris because I'll be honest, I have not trained this year.
What have you done to train for this year's tournament?
Well, I
got a 900,000 something today, which really made me happy because I haven't played in a year.
I don't even think I've played for an hour in the last few days. I mean, in one consecutive go. Like, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there, but...
Just like maybe like a month prior to the tournament, I'll start training, but I don't really play as much anymore compared to back then, but...
You know, if I were serious about competition, I would be training every day that I can to get to the point where I could get those scores to qualify. So it's all about people being confident about what they can get. 3 or 4 hours a day, you know, a few days before the competition, that was good enough for them. But once the bar is raised, it's going to take a lot more than that.
So when you put it down for 11 months and you just pick it up, it's almost alarming how much you've fallen off. There's kind of a fun word that goes around in this household called game shape. Game shape. Heather will ask me if I'm in game shape yet, and we'll just toss around the term until I actually feel confident that I'm in game shape, and that usually happens about a week before the tournament.
It requires skill to win at Tetris. You can have the talent, but if you don't do anything
I hope Heather's in this documentary. Put her in.
I'll play B-type for a while. I'll play at ever-increasing speeds. Then I switch to level 19. The first few games that I play, I try to play very, very safely, and I just want to make it to the kill screen. I just want to survive and have above 400,000 or 500,000. And then I will switch to maybe about a dozen games of just going all out, balls to the wall. Then I switch to 18. I play sets of 3 games because I know that's what we're going to play at the tournament. And then at the very end of the session, I will play maybe a dozen more games at level 18 and try to max out.
I usually go into hibernation mode for 11 months out of the year. My training regimen involves doing drills. And so I'll start on level 19 and try to get 300,000 100-line scores in a row. And once I do that,
Dude, best Tetris player in the world. He only plays 1 month a year.
A carrot and a stick type of thing. I just go through that for about half an hour to an hour each day. Try not to get sick and tired of it. It's still enjoyable, but it almost seems like a second job when it's Tetris season.
It became his first
Terry,
job.
He's been training a lot, you know, and it's paid off for him.
The person I didn't want to face was Terry Parcell, mainly because he probably spent all of summer
No,
playing for
he was
24 hours
the
a
kids
day.
passed him up, John Foster.
Work over the summers, and I sat down with those TVs and played 6 hours a day.
I think it was
probably.
20.
I recently got some nerve damage in my arm, and
18.
it was
He lost to
suggested me that I
the
not play
16-year-old
Tetris for a
kid, and that
while,
was
but
kind of the end of that.
I warm up on 19 just because it makes 18 seem that much slower. For the tournament, however, What I'm training on doing is I'm not playing like a lunatic.
Once
I'm not
hyper-tapping
trying to
came
be
in,
super aggressive. I'm trying to be as safe as possible.
They're too good.
Because that's what I see Harry and Alex and Jonas doing, you know? Like, that's what I see them do on video, and so I'm just doing the same thing. And I'm trying to get between 600,000 and 700,000 every game. Because that's a fine score, but I think that if you could do that consistently, you will beat almost anyone there.
I mean.
But none of these guys would even make the
Out of
tournament
out of the elite players, he plays
with the way it is now.
really differently. Jonas is he's totally over there.
Jonas like throws caution to the wind. He's willing to do the craziest and get out of it.
I don't know, I guess a little chaotic.
Jonas does stuff that's really strange, but there's a reasoning behind it. Often it includes doing things that are really antithetical or seem antithetical to onlookers because they're not used to it. Things like you have a very tall well, but sometimes you have to cover it up for a line or two to get rid of a piece.
He thinks outside the box as far as like combination burns. Him and Ben Mullen are amazing at like sticking a piece in the channel that they know they can easily clean up 2 pieces later, which most people will only burn if it's going to clean up at that moment or maybe 1 piece later.
He's done some incredible stuff. He does a lot of tucks where you'll slide in under a ledge. He does a lot of spins. That guy is the most creative Tetris player. He is not scared to put things in places that they don't seem like they should be.
Jonas does certain things where like I would never do, but Jonas is comfortable with doing that. I am not. The other 3 elite players, they're very alike.
But Jonas is the most talented and just sees the game at a level that no one else does. Do you have a name for that, where you rotate it just to sneak it around the corner?
I call it pole vaulting.
Because that is very unique to you. There's some things that I've studied your games, or the couple that I've seen, and you have a few things that no one else does. That's one of them, and it's brilliant. It makes perfect sense when you see it.
That's just like years of getting stuck on the side.
Right.
You know, just necessity is the mother of invention.
That might be your trademark move, actually.
Well, Jonas calls it the pole vault.
When I think of a pole vault, what I'm thinking about is when your stack is pretty high and you're trying to get a piece past, usually it's like you're stacked in the center, and you're trying to get over that or over some other piece. You've got to flip the piece one way to move it to where you want it to go, and then you have to flip it again in order to land it where you're trying to put it.
In this slow motion pole vault, the piece enters flat, rotates once to clear the stack, then rotates again to land and clear a line.
Dang, that's smart.
When I saw him do that kind of stuff, I was like, okay, I have to copy that too.
I didn't really copy it from him, but you know, I saw him doing that as well. And I was like, oh, he does it too. But then every time I think about the pole vault, I think about Jonas, because he actually gave it a name.
So when Jonas plays, it might look chaotic, it might look like some of his placements aren't the most logical places to put them. But a lot of times this comes from experience. I would say his moveset, like in certain fighting games you have like, you know what your moves are and you know what situations to do those moves in. Tetris is the same way, where if you get a certain sequence of pieces, then you know you can combo that into a solution that results in a line clear or keeping your playfield neat. He has a very good and broad moveset for Tetris pieces that other players, can't touch.
Thinking of
Jonas.
I think Jonas will fall down to probably 4 or 5. Harry and maybe even Bo will go past that in a year or 2, maybe 3. Just because compared to everyone else, he plays a little differently. I think that's gonna bring him down. Even though the way he plays is not how everyone else plays, but he's still in the elite class, but I think he'll fall a little below everyone else in the elite class.
I don't think so, Harry.
Use
I don't think
the
so.
things that Jonas taught me to beat Jonas. I would love to beat him because he's incredible. I've probably mooched more information from the game from watching Jonas than anyone else. And that may be a bad thing because I may not have the software up here to keep up with what he's doing, but I try to emulate his moves because I think I understand why he's doing them. I would like to see if it's his moves that are functional or it's him that's doing all the winning. You know, is it the moves that win or is it the person?
Trey Harrison has been playing classic Tetris for decades. He competed in the Nintendo World Championships, or NWC, that toured dozens of American cities way back in 1990. Back then, Trey lived in Texas.
So, did your family play Tetris when you were growing up?
My brother did. I have a younger brother and he and I still play together. My dad played with us back in the 90s because my dad had taken us to the Nintendo World Championship, and I think when he saw how into it we were, he kind of wanted to just to try it out, just to participate, you know. I mean, he never really played more than a couple games, you know, here and there. I think he played with us maybe a couple months ago back in Houston, but mostly it was me and my brother playing together.
And was Tetris for you as a kid, like, was that your main game, or did you have something else that you loved more?
Well, for a year, it definitely was because of that competition, the Nintendo World Championship. I played that way more than anything else. And over the span of my life, I've played it way more than anything else.
In the NWC, Trey met Thor Ackerland. Thor went on to win his age bracket and set a high bar for competitive Tetris.
It would have been middle school.
Thor's the oldest looking young guy I've ever seen.
In Houston at the Nintendo World Championship there. He was just so much better than everyone else. I was like, wow, like it's possible to be that good. Like I have so much to learn.
There were only like 4 guys in the NWC who knew about burning. Trey was one of them, Thor was one of them.
Like many NWC veterans, Trey has deep knowledge of the game, but he also has a secret weapon. This year, Trey has programmed a Tetris simulator to help him train for the tournament. He shows a preview for the camera.
And so you said you've done some special things. Are you willing to tell us what the special things you did are to help you?
Sure, I'll tell you. No one else is going to see this until after the tournament is over.
Trey's personal trainer can actually rewind the game.
The nice thing about the rewind actually is that in games where you f up, you can actually, you know, go back to where and actually figure out where you made the wrong decision. A lot of times, games are lost because you made a wrong choice, and you can go back and figure out.
Hey, Mr. Leo.
Figure out like what choice you should have made and kind of learn from your mistake. You know, it's really hard to do that without a rewind. It's like unless you're videotaping the game, you can't really go back and see, oh yeah, that is the thing that I shouldn't do next time. So what it does now is it's stacking, I've set it to stack 4 blocks.
This is
on
new.
The bottom row. And no matter what I do, if I get a Tetris,
the guy
maybe partially clear away some of those lines,
recorded all this in 2014
there.
and then basically sat on it for a few years and then tried to start it and got distracted and
it moved my hole over here.
Finally got motivated to finish it this year.
I have to clear all this away in order
10
to
years later. So it just came out in the last month or 2.
That hole there, and then when I get a Tetris there, it will move that out of the way. It'll reposition this somewhere else.
So all this stuff is from 2014.
The point of this is just to make the game harder.
Trey has played in 3 of the past 4 CTWC tournaments.
I mean, everything. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. It's like a time machine.
Last year, he moved up to 5th place. With all this training, he's a serious contender to win the tournament. And he has a goal in mind.
I mean, the biggest thing is all these guys are talking about how they haven't trained at all, or they've only been playing for
just found an email address for him somewhere somehow through
a few weeks
maybe I even messaged him
before the tournament started.
I want to see you play this game if you're this good, and if you are this good, you should record it. Let's put the video online.
I made a short little internet video sort of hyping Harry as the greatest classic Tetris champion. And then I started getting some emails from people like Trey Harrison who said, you know, actually there's this guy Jonas who maxed out many years ago.
So we met and I saw him play level 19. I was like, okay, wow, he's the best player I've seen in a long, long, long time.
So I made a tape with Trey. It was a VHS tape that he put online. And then when YouTube started getting going in 2007, he transferred that video onto YouTube. And it had no sound, so I ended up putting up another video of a level 19 max out. And so I got contacted via those through the people that were putting together the first 2010 tournament. And so that's kind of how I got roped in. And it was in LA back then, so it was an easy drive for me, and it was a no-brainer to participate.
Trey has not faced Jonas since the very first CTW.
Yeah, it was kind of an evolution there. Did
back then
hyper tapping and then rolling is what's currently dominating.
Simultaneously. In that match,
but this
Trey
is before all
succumbed
that.
To an early top out. When the filmmakers asked if there's anyone he wants to avoid playing this year, Trey has an unusual answer.
Oh. That's a funny question. Really no one. Like I want to play. I hope I get a chance to play Jonas. Because, you know, that'd be cool. I may have something up my sleeve, we'll see.
Well, it's kind of covering like everybody who was there. I'm familiar with most of them,
As
yeah,
Saturday
because
draws
just from
to a
following
close,
Tetris.
the players know who's on top. Out of all,
Because I watched the documentary on the 2010 stuff, and then not long after this is when I started following
by late afternoon,
Tetris
the
people
top
online.
spots
So a
are
lot of these guys
secure.
are still around then. So
While minor shifts
some of them are
happen
still
late
around
in
now.
the day, most top players stop qualifying, satisfied that their score is good enough to secure a high seed. Having a high seed usually ensures an easy first round match.
None
At
of
the
these
very
guys can
top
compete
is Quaid
with the kids
with
today.
His max out. Next up is Jonas, just 50,000 points below the max out score. Then Terry.
Like these are the qualifying scores that you're like
round out
one max out, you wouldn't even make
But
the
late
top
in the day,
100.
One key player isn't even on the board. Trey Harrison. He's been watching and waiting all day, biding his time. In the last minutes of qualifying, Trey puts his skills to the test. He tries to earn an exact spot in the bracket by putting up a precise score. And he's not going for the top spot. Trey aims for seed 31.
Oh, if it's super puzzle fighter, oh, that'd
If
be
he
great.
can get that spot, he'll play his friend Jonas in the first round on Sunday.
I'm sure that's when I find out that I
Trey
actually
is
suck at
capable
that
of earning
game.
A much higher seed.
And there's people who are
He
so
was the
much better than
11th
me.
seed just last year. But if he plays to the best of his ability, he's unlikely to face Jonas until late.
They already hinted at that with this. It's like, you know, everybody who
on
came
how
to
the
these early
bracket works
tournaments
out.
thought they were the best Tetris player ever.
Trey has a window
Because no
of
one could beat him,
just
but then they come to this tournament and they get
984
whooped.
Points. That's a very precise number, about one line on level 19 speed. Trey has to watch the score counter closely and stop playing at an extremely precise time, the instant he achieves the score he needs. If he misses that moment, he'll score too high and end up facing somebody else. There is no time for a do-over. There's one player who is in jeopardy, Thomas Vaughn.
I was going by just the history basically. With the last couple of years, the minimum seeds weren't anywhere near 480,000 points, which is what I had. 2 years ago, it was about 200 and something thousand points. Last year,
Like,
was
I could have qualified for these
380
tournaments.
something,
That's how
330
crazy it is.
I had my hour of play and had a 480, and still had about 4 hours to play for the rest of the day if I wanted to stay in the line and keep playing. I had a 480. I asked some people, I asked around, and I said, is that a good score? Can I go? And I left.
Because Thomas is the current 32nd seed, anybody who puts up a good score late in the day could knock him out. Thomas's cousin Terry spots the danger and realizes what Trey is doing.
I get a call from my cousin Terry saying, hey, you need to get here because you're like number 31 now. And I'm like, holy crap, I have an hour left, and it took me about half an hour to get there. Played for another half hour, and unfortunately didn't make it happen. So
Trey has achieved something new in CTWC history, choosing his own tournament seed.
The upper echelon players give me a number, 512,000 points. I can score that. Like, I can do it just on a command. If you're on 18 especially, like, you just play really hard and then line on 19 until you see a score you like, and then die. Because you can die just by dropping the controller. But he said he purposefully did it. Sorry, Tom.
Trey will play Jonas in the first round. His final score is just 149 points below the next player. That's 1/5 of one line. It's precisely what he needed.
I'm not good enough to do my score, but I would play Jonas just because I knew I'd
All right,
win
so like
anyway.
I said, we're going to cycle right through these in round one. So next up in quadrant 2 of the bracket, Jonas Neubauer, the 4-time repeating champion, versus Trey Harrison. Okay, our folks who are new up to their stations, take a 2 or 3 minute warm up. You guys ready? Okay,
yeah, I guess I do,
so ready
John.
to start?
I play.
Let's see, what is the higher seed? Where does he want to start?
Lately, I have been at least. I mean, growing up, I played it all the time. This is one of my favorite games. So
And Jonas chooses level 18.
I got NES and a TT sitting on
a
my
big
desk
game.
where I work. So I just turn on the Nintendo and play sometimes for a little bit.
And here we go. Jonas versus Trey.
And this, of course, is
This is
I don't know if
only
you call him
NES
the man of
Tetris
the
is all they do for
hour,
Classic
considering
Tetris
he's
World
the 4-time
Championships.
champion, maybe the man of the past.
They
few
have a Game
years.
Boy
Jonas Neubauer,
tournament
of course, the favorite to
as
take
well,
this
and a Dr.
tournament
Mario.
once again, and we'll see if anybody can take him down. I mean, kind of an
Yeah,
unfortunate start for
Grandmaster
Jonas, and he
Tetris.
burns
I don't know
right
if they do
away,
tournaments of that or what, but
you know, with this guy's skill
nothing's
level,
associated
I don't
with
think
this.
it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of great moves by Jonas. He's a master at digging down with just placing pieces.
I feel like since
in ways that other
Grandmaster has
players
its own
don't.
rating
He's
system,
just a
people maybe
different
don't
player and
compete in
different
it
kind of animal.
necessarily head to head. but
World champion.
I don't know.
Considered to be invincible. He's the one to watch and the one you need to take down if you want a chance at being a classic Tetris world champion.
Yeah, and
Well,
Trey,
Dr. Mario is
of course,
interesting.
you
It
know,
actually has
fifth place
a head-to-head
last
matchup
year.
mode.
Seated 31st here might seem
So they
kind
just
of
play
low
that.
considering how he finished last year, but he did this on purpose.
Yeah, it was he sniped that position. He wanted to do battle with his friend here, and this is what he wanted. So be careful what you wish for, Trey.
Yeah. He's either gonna get beat up here in the first game, or he's gonna have the upset of the year and take down the reigning champion. We'll see how this goes.
But Trey actually up by a Tetris here, so
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
it might work out. We'll see if Trey can maintain this lead.
Yeah.
And it's all because Jonas has to do a lot of digging here in the start.
Yeah, at the very, very beginning, again, the RNG does play a pretty big factor, you know, in trying to. And you see right there, actually, one of the things that Jonas does that's so special is he's one of the best at adjusting pieces right before they drop based on reacting to the next box.
We are what we call neck and neck now, with both players less than a Tetris apart in score. Both players having to do a lot of burning early on.
And again,
it's crazy. This is before they played seeds with pieces. So
Tetris for Jonas.
Yeah.
Getting on the board and now
they
in the
play with
lead.
different piece
And he's
sets.
playing a little safe right now because
So
he
you
does
could just have
that
bad
slight
luck.
lead, and so he's playing a little safe. And
Trey with dirty Tetris well now. If he gives him the long bar, he takes a triple though. It takes 2 triples. That's
Yeah.
going to hurt Trey's Tetris rate there because those triples could have been Tetrises. But boom, Tetris for Trey, now in the lead. So Trey just sacrificing those lines. You want to score Tetrises as much as possible by taking triples. That's a much less optimized use of those lines that you have.
And, you know, it's tricky, too, because, I mean, if you're used to playing, you know, with the modern Tetris rules and such, you know, you're used to seeing, 3 next pieces, et cetera, and you just don't have that benefit here on NES Tetris. You only get the one piece. The pieces, as soon as they touch the ground, they stick right away, so you can't just slide it around and figure out where to drop everything. And so having that only the one next preview really makes it a lot more difficult.
Yeah, you have to be much more prepared for any kind of piece set or arrangement or combo that
I
you
think
can pull
Jonas
off
has
that's
got
only
this.
within a one window. We're still neck and neck though. Trey just putting on a good show against the 4-time world champion here. Boom, Tetris for Trey. Now in the lead.
Yeah, you can see 29 versus 33% Tetris rates. Neither of them on max out pace. However, both of them playing pretty solidly right now.
Yeah, Jonas is now set up to score. So boom, Tetris for Jonas. Up into the lead now. Up by a little bit more than the Tetris here.
Yeah.
Approaching 100 lines.
But again, obviously Jonas here, the favorite 4-time. I mean, the question really is, can anybody beat this guy? Or is he just basically invincible at this point? And you see, oh no, here we go.
Big drought for Trey.
Yeah, 25.
He was,
drought
but
that
he
you
was
see
a
over there. He's
toddler.
gonna be able to burn and still be able to get the Tetris. That worked out great for him. But oh my gosh,
Yeah.
look at all these O pieces dropping for Trey right now.
And even more, he's got a spire up the middle. He's going to have to make sure he can burn that down so he can get his pieces over to the
But
right
the
side.
drought, oh no. And you see right there, but actually, okay,
Yeah.
2 eye pieces in pretty quick succession allows him to
Like
still
when they
get
started
that
this
Tetris,
off,
and
it's
now he's
like, you
got a
know,
great play field
every
again.
Tetris game
both
that's
players
ever
now
been
clean
played,
in
you'd
position
lose.
to score. The
You
transition
always
is coming,
lose.
though, at 130 lines.
It's like
so
not true.
They have to make sure they get their houses in order and make their play
Not
fields
anymore.
clean as possible.
Everything's
for
changed.
that speed increase.
Yeah, but you can see right here, look at this. Jonas is up to a 42% Tetris rate. He was at like 30-something earlier, but this is how solid he's been playing now.
Yeah, Jonas now up by about 60,000 points. So Trey has about 3 Tetrises to catch up. Makes one there.
Yeah, and Jonas had to set himself up a tuck, but couldn't find the right pieces to clean it out. But he's still going to get a Tetris over there and going to do some burning now. And wow, that was good RNG for Jonas
Yeah,
right
you could
there.
tell both players are drilling back down to the bottom, making sure they're safe for that speed transition coming up in about 6 lines now.
Yeah. You can see right there, both of them at 126 lines. So the transition
Yeah,
is
watching people
coming,
play the
and
invisible
boom,
thing
that
is
Jonas
crazy.
into the transition now. You notice the speed increase there, and they're going to have to play a lot safer to make sure that
They
can
have an
survive
invisible
this.
mode now on
again,
the practice ROM for
you
this.
can't take the same kind of risks you can at level 18 because, you just can't slide the pieces all the way to the side most of the time. See right there, Jonas
That kinda
was
breaks my brain.
almost Tetris ready, but he chose
He
to go
took
for
the
the
triple,
triple
and-
instead. Yeah. It's just that much safer to play that way.
Also, he might know.
Yeah,
with his
Jonas
lead
is all-
now,
like, you'll
the
see him,
90,000
like-
point lead. Trey has a bit of catching
Where
up
you
to
like
do.
you think you know where he's going to put the
Ooh, and
piece,
Trey's in a bit
and
of
then he
trouble.
like
He was
you can tell
setting
like
up
he
the
looks
30
at the
well.
next
I
piece
don't
and
think he's gonna
realizes
be
there's
able to
something
get
better.
out
So
of
you'll see
that,
him
and
like
Trey
out of
drops
nowhere
out. Jonas taking the first round.
shift his piece over and do something
Nicely
different.
done by Jonas again, and
His
don't wanna
mind's
sit here
working
and say that
faster than
this is
everyone
the
else. The funny part is
expected
these TVs, man.
result,
These
considering
TVs
Trey
are
did
so
get
bad.
fifth, last
Right,
year.
yeah. Don't count Trey out. He's a
There's so
definite
much
contender.
snow on the TV. I don't even know how they see the
And
pieces.
even though Trey is 31st seed, like that position was a situation he built for himself. So,
Right.
his true seed number might be a lot closer to, like in
Right.
the top 10.
Yeah, because as soon as he got to
Yeah,
the
I did,
qualifying
when I
position, he just dropped the controller.
did,
he obviously could have got more points,
Well,
but
also the
What do you call it, the
confidence it takes
Xbox
to do that, like
PC
you get
Game
one shot
Pass?
at the end of the qualifying rounds, and it's
Tetris
just like,
Effect
I'm just
was on
gonna
there. I
make
just
this
played it one
score
night.
a very specific score.
I did beat it.
at
I beat it that one
You know,
night.
a lot of players, you want to have some time to make sure you get that score dialed in, but Trey
Right.
didn't need to do that. He had the confidence.
Yep, but unfortunately
Should
for
be a
Trey
VOD
right
of it.
now, a little bit unfortunate RNG pieces to start. Ooh, see right there, he could have rotated the piece at the last second to fit it in better, and that's
There's a
one
YouTube
of those
video
skills that
of
Jonas
this guy on
has
the
that
right
I
playing
believe,
that game.
Just judging from what I've
It's
seen
called
from
like
Jonas, he
Tetris-
probably would have had that piece rotation there at the last
Tetris
second.
former Tetris
Trey
Pro
burning off
plays
garbage that was
Tetris
there.
Effect or
and now
something.
Tetris
It's got
Ready,
like
boom,
it's
Tetris
always
for Trey
recommended to me.
has
It's
him
got
catching up to do Jonas up by about
10 million
points
views,
now.
maybe more than that.
Boom,
It's
Tetris
just
for
a
Jonas.
crazy amount of
And
views.
we had one max out during the qualifying round. That was Quaid. And you can see right here, Jonas has the potential to max out right now at 74% Tetris rate.
Definitely, yeah, some of the highest we've seen. And we always ask ourselves, will we ever see a max out in competition play someday?
Yeah. Well, if it's
Will
going
we?
to happen, I mean, Jonas is probably one of the ones who's going to do it, and he is on great pace right now. But of course, that also has to fall
Imagine a
on Trey
max
as
out.
well. Trey
Imagine.
has to keep the score close enough to keep pushing Jonas to try to maintain that Tetris rate.
Yeah, actually, with our competition format, right, both players actually have to be really good for the game to last as long as it does to get a score that high.
Right.
So,
And you can see right now, Jonas having to do a little bit of cleanup. So his Tetris rate did drop only
Just a bit.
briefly, but back up to 70%.
and he's Tetris ready again. We could see a amazing score here from Jonas. And Trey doing a bit more cleanup work here, but he's Tetris ready.
perfect.
Boom, Tetris for Trey.
Yeah. Again, Trey, getting stronger, getting higher positions every year. And so can't count this guy out right now. Joe goes for a burn over there.
Burns a triple, while Jonas uses his lines and scores a Tetris, increasing his lead to 80,000 points. Trey firing back with his own.
And yeah, you see right there, that's a little bit of the safety play you saw from Jonas right there. He could have played a little more aggressive and built the stack a little higher, but because the RNG can definitely be your enemy, it's not worth risking sometimes.
Yeah, and Trey is being forced to build on top of his well, and now he's going to dig back down and try to open that up. Nice center, well set up, though. Hopefully that long bar will come. There it is.
And he's gonna
And boom. Center, well, Tetris for Trey.
Yeah, dirty Tetris for Trey. And unfortunately, it has a little bit too much of requirements for long bars and L's or J's right now. There we go. There's one.
Yeah, Mr.
long
Leo,
bar,
we were talking
one
about
eyepiece, but he needs
how much
another
has
one for the
changed his
Tetris now.
Jonas,
I
getting back-to-back
theoretically could have
Tetrises there.
qualified.
No point bonus like in modern Tetris, but it's still cool when you see
For this tournament.
the score just go up
That's
so
how-
drastically. And Jonas now almost at 100,000 point lead. Trey has some
How much
catching
things
up
have
he needs to
changed.
do.
Yeah, well, now is the time to do it because Jonas has a little bit of unfortunate RNG, built up a couple of spires, and is still trying to clean through that right now. I mean, at this point, he could choose to maybe try to go for a row 2 Tetris, but he's got the pieces that he needed to clean, and he's out of there.
Yeah, he's just building to get his play field in a nicer spot there. And now you can see the well forming back on the right. So he's off to where he needs to be.
And you can see his Tetris rate is down to 51%. He was playing a little safer, but you can see his lead is not that high anymore. He's only up by 50. Well, okay, now by 70,000. But again, Trey having built his Tetris rate up to 45% now. So actually,
Well, now just
Trey
with the
is
way-
right there.
Yeah.
With the way they
he's,
play, I
turned
wouldn't even
that digging in the
compete,
beginning and has been making Tetrises.
They could just move the
consistently
pieces
since then.
around and last longer and play more efficient.
47%
but-
Tetris rate for Trey compared to 55% for Jonas.
Yeah, it's not reaction based here. Like you
Yeah,
have to
it
be.
looks like,
it's more about
as
precision.
Jonas started to play safer. Trey has been turning on the aggression, making sure that
Precision and
every
smarts.
line clear he does.
It didn't become a young person's game until it became more of a physical
Here, and he's
game.
gonna get another Tetris,
Boom,
and
Tetris
he's
for Trey.
up to 50% Tetris rate.
And then it went from that
I love
physicality
seeing Trey
to
here catching up,
speed.
Get a burn
And so
right
yeah, the
there,
speed is
one-line
also
burn. He's Tetris ready again.
benefits
and
the
Jonas
young
now
kids.
With a very messy play field, having to do a lot of digging. Trey,
You can see this
definitely
isn't-
in a position to
I mean,
catch
it's
up
fast, but
and
it's
take
not
the lead here. Let's see how it plays out.
mind-bendingly
A
fast.
couple more pieces, and Trey can be Tetris ready.
Yeah, Jonas with a nice little burn and a clean down right now.
Boom, Tetris for Trey. We are neck and neck.
Yeah, and this drought right now for Jonas is hitting him pretty hard. Not an eyepiece drought, but just trying to clear through
and
the stack.
Jonas is about to transition here. Not quite clean play field, so we'll have to see how he adjusts to the speed here.
Right.
He's digging back down. That's a safe, smart way to do it.
Wow, nicely done. Oh no, a missed drop by Trey here. there as he transitions, it's not actually going to harm him too badly here, because there he goes.
He opened it right back up,
Yeah.
and he plays it safe. He didn't go for the Tetris there.
Come on, Jonas. Come on.
Playing defensive, trying to get back down and keep it really low here at level 19.
Yeah, no reason to play super aggressive right now. He has the pressure going towards Jonas right now, keeping up with him, only one Tetris behind. Oh, but he needs some specific pieces right now.
Yeah,
and
there's some dependencies there. It gives him what he needs. He opens his well back up, and Jonas takes a slight lead. So Trey's going to have to catch up a little bit. Boom, Tetris for Jonas. So now we're going to get to see Jonas with his level 19 play, and
He's playing safe.
See if he can increase this lead here.
This is prior to Jonas being.
Just with great.
I mean, he's the best player in the world, but
slight misdrop by Trey.
he got even
might have to
better.
dig that out.
yeah, he should be able to get through there if he can get the right pieces. But he's got oh no, a misdrop right there.
It's a bit messy.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously one of the techniques for Daz is you have to have the perfect timing to
Trey in
stop
trouble.
the piece
Trouble,
sliding.
Trey.
And he had stopped it one space a little bit too early.
Some nice digging there, though. He's actually drilling back down. Most players would have topped out from a mistake like that, but now he's in position to clear it down.
The problem is right now, during that entire time, Jonas has been playing a little bit safe and clean. You can see Jonas there still with the 64,000 lead.
And Trey actually digging back down.
He lives.
Oh, this is definitely a nice gritty performance here by Trey, keeping the pressure on his friend.
And boom, Tetris for Jonas. 93,000 point lead.
Trey's like
This is
convulsing.
the problem now. The pieces. Oh, okay. Actually, that eye piece came just in time.
Nice
for
triple.
Trey.
Jonas cools a cucumber.
He had to cover up his well again, so he's gonna have to burn more lines. And some misdrop there by Trey.
Oh man, he was playing so well, but again, like I said, you have to for Daz, you have to let go of left or right at the exact timing.
Let's go,
to drop
Jonas.
the piece, and Trey accidentally let go a little too late that time.
Unfortunate misdrops causing Trey to top out there, and Jonas is going to take the match, advancing to the next round.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Trey was doing so good, keeping the pressure
That
up.
was an excellent performance by Trey. It was
Yeah.
actually very close most of that game.
Yeah, going out in a 31st, well, tied around that position over there. But again, kind of belying his skill level because he put himself in 31st seed on purpose.
Right, and a lot of people say, like, you come to the Classic Tetris World Championships, you
There's
spend,
Heather.
like, $2,000 and fly to
In the
Portland
back.
just to get eliminated by Jonas, and Trey goes in there intentionally, knowing that his opponent's going to be Jonas.
Yeah.
So that takes a lot of courage, and props to Trey for putting on a show.
As the tournament proceeds, the top 8 matches begin to take shape. In an upset, number 1 seed Quaid loses to number 17 seed Alex Kerr in their second round match.
Quaid tops out with a 521.
With Quaid out of the running,
I think
heads
Alex
to the
also
top
does
8.
Grandmaster stuff.
He will face Elijah Markstrom, who also goes by Eli. On the same side of the bracket, Bo Style will face Harry Hong. On the right side of the bracket, Jonas Neubauer has reached the top 8. In the next episode, Jonas will face Chris Brady.
The next episode. Good thing we already have a next episode. Let's see if they do another Ben Mullen interview here or not. It's a Tetris Terry interview.
We get together all the time. My cousin, my brother, my mom, my sister, all of us have gotten together at some points of in various states of inebriation and have played some Tetris. There's a very interesting story, actually, I think I would like to share with you, if I may. I have a cousin who is getting pretty good at Tetris now, but he was not always very good. And my brother and him and I got together in the basement, and I made him a bet that he couldn't get 25 lines on level 19. He got
good bet.
100 tries, and I would give him $1 less. I bet him $100 he couldn't do this, and I gave him 100 tries to accomplish it. For every try he made, he got $1 less of the bet. I think he
It would take me all 100
chances, and
100
I still gave him
tries
like
to get it.
5 more for $50, and he got it on his very last shot. And I was so f***ing pissed at him. And he came over the next day, and he had the audacity to say, "Where's my money?" And I was like begrudgingly went to the bank and gave him $50. I was pissed, but it was fun.
All right, episode 3.
Scenes of Tetris gameplay have a strobing effect that may affect photosensitive viewers.
Yeah, the first documentary about Tetris, the Ecstasy of Order, Shanna, Barry Blast, and Booster Shane watched that and were like, "Oh, that's really cool." And they came to Twitch and found Twitch to watch Harry Hong, and that's how they found all of us. So we're all like connected in that way.
Tetris experts think about the game differently. A beginner looks at the piece that's falling and focuses on where to put it.
Talking about Apollo right here.
I have this single piece and this looks like a good spot.
Yeah, this is Apollo strats.
But you can only get so far in Tetris thinking about one piece at a time. Players must learn to look at the next box. Seeing the next piece in combination with the current piece changes things. The question of placement now has 2 parts. If I put the current piece here, will I still have a good place to put the next one? Learning this 1-2 dance with the next box is the first major step in high-level Tetris. It's like learning to juggle for the first time. But Tetris experts extend this thinking even further. They consider what's next after the next piece. Because the game can generate any piece at any time, classic Tetris experts build their stack to allow for any possibility. If a piece that's 2 blocks wide appears, there needs to be a place for it on the stack. The same goes for a piece that's 1 block wide or 3 blocks wide. Expert players constantly adjust their stack based on how the next box changes. And the very instant the next box shows a new piece, the entire process repeats. This creates a sort of 1, 2, 3 style of thinking. They think,
big brain.
I'll put the current piece here, the next piece there, and then, oh, now the plan is changed. This requires flexibility and lightning-quick improvisation. Learning to think this way is what makes a Tetris champion.
That's one of the things that separates people that
He's got the glove before rolling.
Sometimes you can drop a piece on the stack in a way that seemingly makes no sense to an onlooker, but then they see the next piece that drops and they're like, oh. My brother, unfortunately, doesn't always do that. Like, I'll put a long bar straight vertically, and he's like, what the f are you doing? And then the next piece fits right in.
To decide the winner of the upper right quadrant of the bracket, Jonas Neubauer faces Chris Brady.
Heather.
All right, we're gonna start the round. Counting down 3 to 1. 3. Oh, all right. Okay, we're waiting for Jonas. Waiting for the rocket.
And here we go. Jonas versus Chris. Round 1. Jonas being the 4-time Tetris World Champion and kind of favored to win at all times.
Yeah, representing Strand Brewing Company. That's where he works, actually. And
Jonas taking on his accountant.
At this point in time, the question is, can anybody beat Jonas? And that's the question on everybody's mind.
Year after year, Jonas is just proven time and time again just how consistent and amazing of a player he is. And we talk about Michael Jordan being Michael Jordan of Tetris and being at the best in his game. And we're seeing, Jonas in his prime right now. It's always amazing.
I mean, it's a great way to describe him, too, because, I mean, when Michael Jordan was winning all those championships, how many people did he deny? He denied Gary Payton, he denied Patrick Ewing, he denied, Charles Barkley, all these guys. And I feel like that's kind of what Jonas is doing.
Yeah. It's, you don't get too many situations where someone's that dominant, but we've got one here for competitive Tetris.
Yeah, you got to think how many people would have been able to put their name, on the list of champions if it weren't for Jonas so far. And Chris, unfortunately, starting with some really bad pieces. And
big spire in the middle. That's going to be a big mess to clean up.
Man, not a good start here for Chris.
Get it together, Chris. Come on.
Again,
going against
these players
Jonas
are
here.
Too good. I mean, seeded 7th. Chris is obviously a strong player here. These players are too good to be KO'd by this kind of a misdrop.
Right. Lesser players would fall, to mistakes like that. But a pro will just clean it right up, and Chris is on his way to cleaning it.
Yeah, and I mean, the only thing to say is that, it ruins his Tetris percentage. But to be fair, you look on Jonas's side, and he's at the same percentage, and
Scores
that's
are neck
why.
and neck.
Yeah, that's why the scores are basically the same. So, despite that misdrop and despite all that cleaning needed, Jonas hasn't been able to capitalize on that.
Yeah. Also, what you'll notice though is, Jonas is really good at throttling. Like he'll play super consistently, and then he'll pour on the aggressiveness when he needs to. And that could be the situation here where he's not playing too risky and he's just hanging in there. And if his opponent survives long enough for him to catch up, then he'll make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jonas right now at a 50% Tetris rate still hasn't had to do as much cleaning as Chris has. And now Chris, those SZs and the JLs, they mirror each other. And it's that much more insulting when the
Chris,
game keeps
it's over. It's over.
And he's up too high. He's not going to be able to clear that down. Jonas takes the first round quite easily, just hanging back and scoring where he can. Didn't need to do too much to take Chris out of that round. So
you see the uncomfortable smile on Chris's face and the head shake, because like I said, there was one point in time he needed, I think it was he needed a Z piece, he got the S piece, he needed the L piece, he got the J piece. And it's just one of those situations where, like you said before, you feel like the Tetris gods are just kind of laughing at you.
You're being mocked
by
RNG incarnate. And I'll speak to one of the things I think Jonas is strong at, is that he builds his play fields to accommodate as many pieces as possible.
Yes.
And then by doing so, you don't become reliant on an S or Z specifically.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's the whole goal of playing Tetris, is trying to get your field so that no matter what piece shows up, you have a place to drop it.
Yeah. And I think Thor Ackerlund mentioned in Ecstasy of Order at the end is like you kind of have to Tetris is like life, and you kind of have to take what it gives you and do the best you can with it.
Man, that's too deep for me.
Yeah, it's super
I don't
deep.
want to think about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about that right now.
A lot of people have learned how to live better in life through Tetris, and you might curse RNG one day, but it comes down to how well you deal with every situation.
They always say, right? It's, the ones who get the luckiest are the ones who set themselves up for that luck.
Yeah, you build your own luck here. And, Jonas is building shapes here that, he knows he's going to be able to clear like that. He built a roof over that, burned it down just one line, and it's totally clean again.
Man. And here we go. So Jonas still doing a lot of burning here, because you can see now Chris with a beautiful 53% Tetris rate here, and Jonas half of that with about 26%.
Yeah, just so many safe burns by Jonas here. I think he's just playing safe.
Just a lot of burning that he had to do.
Lots of singles, just things that clear a line. And when you do that, when you clear a single, it gives you some time to think. So maybe there's something to that, right? Like just gives you a little bit more breathing room. You can play a little more calm, a little more collected.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you have the choice between getting 3 singles and a triple, the triple points, I feel like, aren't necessarily enough, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you want to, the thing is, you don't want to take, nice spin there.
Yeah, nice tuck there by Jonas. One of those high-level tucks right there. But, clearing 3 lines in a row maybe gives you time to think a little bit.
It's the act of the line clear itself that buys you time, because if you're watching the animation, you can see where the play field's at. But in terms of scoring, like a single doesn't feel as painful as a triple, because you're buying the same amount of time with less lines.
It's gonna be a Jonas sweep.
All right. But look at this, Chris right now.
He's going to come back.
Doing so well. He's got a boom Tetris 66%.
Yeah, he's got a true lead here, 70,000 points. So this is Chris's chance to get on the board here. He needs to win this round to stay in the match.
And to call this an upset if Chris wins has nothing to do with Chris. That's all Jonas here, because, I mean, he's a 4-time champion for a reason. This guy is so strong, and, is he the best at Nest Tetris in the world? Probably.
In terms of our results, that seems to have been proven so far.
Yeah, there's not a single person out there, I think, who would argue with that claim right now.
Yeah. I mean, when you interview players, a lot of them just say that, they don't want to end up getting sent to the end by Jonas, because that's, people fly 2,000 miles to Portland just to have Jonas beat them.
Yeah. Unless, of course, you're Trey, then you set it up on purpose.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, Chris now 67% Tetris.
Chris crushing.
He is
crushing Chris.
So good right
Almost
now.
up 100,000 points over the 4-time world champion.
Yeah, and again, can't be understated. He's 7th seed in this tournament here, which means that he did extremely well during the qualifying rounds.
With a drought now up to 20 lines, he took a triple there. So Chris, definitely ahead, has some room to play safe. So that might be the way to go as we approach transition. Next 37 lines here. Both players right at 93 line mark.
Yeah, and Jonas here still down by 75,000 right now. Has a little
Turn
bit
up the juice, Jonas.
Of catching up to do. But again, it's still early. We haven't even transitioned yet, so anything can happen at this point.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, we haven't actually seen Jonas need to turn on the aggression. So if this round keeps playing out, the catch-up could happen. He's already starting to close that gap. Only a Tetris and change ahead now.
And there's something to be said about being the champion. It's just like the nerves don't hit you as much, I feel like. You're probably just like, yeah, I can probably win again.
I don't know. Jonas is kind of a humble guy. I really think that one thing that we do know is that Jonas just loves the game and wants to see our scene thrive. And I don't think he's got too much of an ego about it.
Oh, for sure. All right. Well, he got his playfield clean here, and an OP's perfectly timed.
And Chris's playfield looking good here, just waiting for the long bar. Boom, Tetris for Chris. Approaching transition. If he makes another Tetris, he's going to be at level 19, and we'll see if the complexion of the match changes with that speed increase.
Yeah.
Boom, Tetris for Chris into the transition, level 19 now. Jonas, one more line's going to do it for him too. And transitions, his playfield, it's a bit high. He's still waiting for the log bar, wanting to Tetris, but he's
doing
safely,
a bunch of burning now. Yeah.
He plays it safe and starts burning down.
I mean, that's the thing, if you're so used to modern Tetris, like you feel like you can risk a lot of that, but you just can't do it because Daz literally cannot move the piece far enough, fast enough.
Yeah, knowing your limits and not overstepping them is very important here. And wow, Jonas
100,000 points
with some burning here. And this is Chris's chance to take a round here.
I mean, he's up by 107,000 points, and that is a true lead because they have the same amount
Russian
of lines
Chris
at this point. So Chris is
these are
looking in a
terrible
good position,
pieces.
But actually, the playfield getting a little messy here.
He's going to have to do some major digging to get back into scoring position.
I think he thought there was going to be a
he's not
line
gonna be able to get over
clear.
to the left.
No.
And
Chase down.
Chris topping out with a 100,000 point lead. We are in a
boy.
chase down situation. Jonas needing another 100,000 points to catch up and take this round.
Yeah, I really believe Chris thought that there was going to be a line clear at one point that didn't happen. So he dropped the eyepiece in the wrong place. So Jonas now with the chase down, but his field, well, never mind.
Yep,
it's clean and
opened up.
Tetris ready now.
And remember I said, it's like Jonas hasn't had to turn on the aggression, but now he does, and he has a clean play field, catching up in score. Now only needing a couple of Tetrises. And maybe
Chris has that I know it's over face.
Yeah, but he has to do a lot of uncomfortable. You see, burning here.
Yeah,
you saw
a few
that O
burns
piece.
are going to be required. He's relatively low on the play field, so he can do it. Just a box with nice pieces for that.
Okay, how's he going to handle this right here? Okay, that sets him up for a Tetris.
Yeah, he's going to go for a Tetris
Okay.
here.
But is he going to get the drought? Yeah, cleaning up just to not get too greedy. Look at this.
Ooh,
oh, no.
He needs another long bar. He gets it in. Boom. Tetris for Jonas. All he needs is one more.
Oh,
Feeling
my
the pressure
goodness.
here. Oh, he barely getting that over to the left.
Even a head shake
Heart
from
attack
Jonas,
moment.
You know the kind of pressure he's feeling now.
Wow. He's going to turn that into a triple well there. So if he gets a... Okay.
Okay, 10,000. Just 9,600 now. 8,600.
He's getting within striking. This is okay. He's set up for a Tetris. He's going to
if he
Tetris
can
that.
get there,
and
it is.
boom! Tetris for Jonas.
And there's that Tetris exhale that I always say every Tetris player knows. Whenever you get that one clear and the field goes back to normal, the exhale and satisfaction.
Yeah, that was a really close round. Chris Brady just getting a nice lead at the end there, but Jonas keeping his calm and composure. He was within a few frames of a misdrop that could have ended that all, but he kept it together and sealed the
Almost
victory.
ran out of time there. He was getting near to level 29.
Because the classic Tetris scene is so small, close friends often face off in the tournament. A key example is Bo's style. 2 years back, he faced his friend Ben Mullen in tournament play. Both players wanted to win, but neither wanted their friend to lose. Bo won that match. Then last year, Bo and Ben faced off again, but the outcome was reversed.
Bo is Bo. He's from, I've faced him twice at least. I'm hoping to face him again just to complete the triad. We tend to battle each other. I think that if I face Bo, I'll kill him and I'll feel really bad about it again. Or he'll kill me and I'll feel really bad also.
So when you get into the tournament, who would you not want to get matched up against?
Ben Mullen. We're both from Minnesota.
Minnesota.
We played the last 2 years, and I think we both agree my first year here would have been his third. He was the better player, and I upset him when thinking I didn't have a chance to beat him, and I beat him. Felt bad about beating him, but I did.
Bo is actually one of the more interesting people I've met. He was one of the people I'm actually looking forward most to seeing. As far as a player, he's incredible. Love him, one of my favorites.
I'm pretty close with Bo. You know, we talk a lot about Tetris and all that.
Bo was in the front row last year, cheering for his friend Harry in the final match.
Do you remember like last year watching Harry in that final match?
Oh yeah.
What did that feel like?
It was tough watching those two. You know, you see Harry gets up 2 games on him, and you think it's finally going to happen. Jonas is finally going to go down, and Jonas somehow fights back. I don't know if Harry kind of sloughed off in the last couple games or got comfortable, but Jonas fought back, I guess, and we were all pulling for Harry, and it didn't work out.
This year, yet again, Bo has to face a friend.
When we knew that we were on the same bracket, and we're like, okay, if we both make it, you know, we'll face each other in the quarterfinals. And we were like, okay, like that'll suck. I mean, that'll be great, but that'll suck at the same time. After the top 16, you know, we had lunch, you know, and then, you know, we're all friends. So, you know, we ate lunch together, you know, we're all eating together and all that. So it's like, okay, like, you know, in about like an hour, we're gonna have to, you know, go at it.
Bo and Harry are the 4th and 5th seeds. Their qualifying scores were close, and their gameplay is close as well.
Bo is the Like, he really honestly is a good player. He plays like a really super aggressive style. He's not afraid to stack up really, really high. Actually, Harry Hong plays a very similar style. Like, Harry is like reckless, and it works out because they have the capability to like work out in their brain, but they both play really high. They both play really loose, like cavalier kind of style, but it works out.
Part of my game, I think,
They
is
play
different.
high.
Is
Imagine if
probably
they were
a
sober.
disadvantage
You know what I
to
mean?
me, and players tell me about all the time is I build too high and try to play too perfect in Tetris all the time, and I get myself in situations where I can't get out of. But that comes out of a feeling that I can get myself out of any situation, and it's just not possible. I want to Tetris every time.
I feel that. I feel that.
To decide the winner of the lower left quadrant of the bracket, Bo Style faces Harry Hong.
Bo knows
Okay, let's
Tetris.
start here. All 4 competitors this round have picked level 18 as their starting level. The higher seed usually picks the level, so looks like we're going to be the same across the boards. Go ahead and reset your systems and get ready to start.
Should we be looking for Rot Dog
We're
here?
going to count down. This is the first game of the semifinals. We're going to count down from 3 to 1. You guys with me? Ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
What? He didn't have his Tetris slogan
Harry
yet?
Hong coming up here against
3, 2, 1, Tetris.
seeded, 5th and 4th respectively.
Yeah, so they're right next to each other in terms of capability and then qualifying.
Yeah, but I mean, look, Harry, he's coming off of a heartbreak of a year last year, not losing a single match, going up 2-0 against Jonas. And then Jonas coming back with 3 matches in a row.
The reverse sweep.
Yeah. Those were the only matches he lost that entire weekend was against the matches against Jonas. So he's here right now seeing if he can come back and try to get revenge against Jonas, but
He has to go through Bo first.
Exactly.
And yeah, Bo just he's also a veteran, and having played in this tournament before, and coming in 8th place in 2012 and 13th in 2013.
Yeah, one of the things Bo has said about his own play style is that he likes to try to play too perfectly, chases after all the Tetrises. And you saw at the beginning there, it almost came back to bite him. He had a decent drought of the line pieces, but eventually the I-bars came, and he is now in a perfect situation with a 40% Tetris rate.
Yeah, both players with really clean play fields early on. So you're going to see some good scores potentially.
Yeah, and Harry right now with a very, always has that aggressive expression on his face. Oh, look at that. Back to back to back O pieces. It's just not fun to deal with that, especially when you have to just create a giant column of O blocks like that.
Yeah, unless you build a dirty Tetris on top of it, those are all burned lines that you're seeing there. And that's lost score potential.
Yeah, so he's at 26%. Meanwhile, Bo at
Interesting to see some of these
but in a current drought right
strats
now,
for these
finally gets
placements.
the
I wouldn't put him
line
that
piece,
way.
but not in a situation where he could have used it for the Tetris. But he's Tetris ready now. He's got a clean play.
The skills haven't evolved yet.
Like I said, he likes to chase for the. Oh, actually, the one moment he decides to stop chasing for it is when that eyepiece comes. Of course,
Harry, since burning away all those boxes that the game gave him, is now in great shape with a totally clean play field, and hoping to get that lead back.
Man, a lot of O pieces that time, but it actually worked out for Harry this time. Look, you can see it, like that giant white block
Yep.
in the bottom left was almost all O pieces. But now they're all gone, and Harry is looking great.
Yeah, both players in great shape. Neck and neck, true neck and neck, because yeah, the lines are right there with each other. These two players are super evenly matched.
Yeah. See right now, Bo having to do a little bit of a dig, not a big deal right there. He's pretty much in the clear now, although he needs something to fit in that well in the middle. Finally gets the O piece, and boom, Tetris for Bo. And so now looking good again here with his play field.
Harry going for that column 2 Tetris. Just waiting for the lawyer, gives it to him. Boom, Tetris for Harry.
Yeah, but then not the best pieces with places to fit in. Actually,
messy.
No, it's actually kind of
looking
working
like
out
Swiss
for him.
cheese though on the bottom there. He's got
The
him
Bo
burning those
comeback?
down. That's just what you have to do in that situation. He's opening it up.
Yeah.
Very efficient, though. Getting the job done.
One of the things you have to do, and a lot of
31-piece
players
trout.
always forget, is that, you know, when you're trying to dig down like that, you got to look at the holes at the bottom. You don't want to cover
40.
them up. You know, you tend to try to put pieces in optimal positions, but if you keep covering up the hole, you're just never going to dig through. Here we go.
And he's starting to get out of it. And there it is. The clean playfield again.
And boom, Tetris for Bo. They're both at 40% Tetris rate.
They're neck and neck, like true neck and neck here. Both same in terms of lines and less than a Tetris apart.
And look at that, 2,900 apart right now.
And what would call a simul Tetris there. Both players hitting Tetris and staying with each other in score.
Okay.
Just over the 100 line mark. Transition is going to happen in the next 20 lines.
Yeah, and you can see Harry does tend to hit down as well. So you
Starting
can
to pull ahead in terms of lines.
He has a 5-line lead right now. But that little awkward situation
Push down
you see
points.
over there in column number 9 for Harry.
Yeah, you have to choose whether you want to burn that away or try to go for an off-centered Tetris or a column 9 Tetris like that.
Yeah, bad time to get an O piece, even though he's clean through it. Like we said, it's really about that Tetris rate. And so the more you burn, the more, you know, subconsciously you know you're losing points. So it feels bad. Even though you know you're safe, you're not going to get topped out or anything. It just feels bad to have to burn those lines like that all the time.
Yeah, Harry just hit the transition first, and now Bo. So they're both into level 19. Bo with a better playfield right now. So Harry having to clean up just a bit. And that's something you need to do. You always want to go into level 19 with the cleanest playfield possible.
Right. And I will say right now, just from my own personal judgment, I feel like Harry has been getting some really unfortunate pieces. Despite having a clean playfield, he hasn't been able to do much with the points, and he's been kind of forced to play the pieces in locations that he would prefer not to.
Yeah, and Bo's lead now, 60,000 points. So that's like a 2.5 Tetris lead at this point. Harry having to do some catch-up.
Yeah, well, Bo is having to do some digging himself. Actually, those are some really nice pieces that he got. But now he's reliant on the J, but he got that, no problem.
And, yep, digging back down. This is Harry's chance to catch up, though, with Bo doing more digging. Oh, Harry having a lot of trouble with playfield. That's a big spire. That's going to be tough to clear. Can he do it? Can he dig that down? Harry's not looking too positive about it.
It's over.
He's
Bo.
the ghost there. Bo taking the first round.
Look at that, a 22-piece.
Bo, no.
Yeah, to end him out right over there. You can see
Harry
with that head shake.
Don't let it happen.
Yeah, he knows. And like I said, he was so close to taking the tournament last year. I mean, second place to Jonas in 2010, second place to Jonas in 2013. And so,
right, you'd be able to look at our history and say that Harry has come the closest to dethroning Jonas. So
yeah, up 2 games to nothing against.
I've
Jonas
already got the best
again,
viewers.
Like
I've already got
and
the
then
best viewers.
Jonas taking the last 3 games to obviously by that point it becomes 3 out of 5. And that must have been a hard one for Harry. And, that's a hard one to come back from. But you can see right now he's in it, but he's in danger of elimination here at the hands of Bo now.
Right, like a very even match here. And, it's not going to be for free. If Harry wins this, he's going to have to earn it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's got to do a little bit of burning. Meanwhile, Bo's playfield looking nice.
Looking
right
nice
now.
and clean, yeah. Bo's been doing a great job of, taking what it gives him and clearing it really fast, and that's made the difference. Harry was having more problems with the digs and having to burn more lines in the last game. So we can see if Harry can make the adjustment and stay clean.
Yeah, Bo at a 71% Tetris rate. That's really nice, but he's got to figure out a way to cover up column 1 and 2. Had an opportunity there to drop the J piece there, and he did not.
Not
So
a fan
he's
of
got
some
kind
of Bo's placements, I got to be
He's got
honest.
some dependencies that he has to overcome, and it's not giving him the correct facing pieces.
Who am I to talk?
So
But
that's why you see that spire in the middle is because he had to settle for something that wouldn't leave a hole, and he could solve with a tuck.
Nice.
And that's what he did there. He's
Those are
you
good,
can
though.
tell that he's wanting to keep the playfield clean. So when you see an ugly spire like that in the middle, he's waiting for another piece combination to allow it for a tuck and leaving no gaps.
Yeah,
And when he said that he tries to play as perfect as possible, I think that's part of what he meant.
Yeah. Was really, really nicely done by Bo. Still maintaining that 59% Tetris rate. But if you look on Harry's side, he's at 60% Tetris rate.
Oh, yeah, this is a great game by both players right now. Their Tetris rates are high. They've kept the burning to a minimum. Excellent display here, especially with Bo setting up those tucks to keep his playfield free of holes.
Yeah, but one thing to note right now, despite being up by 10,000 points, Harry is also ahead by, well, not as many lines as it was before, but it's not a true lead right now. And, ooh, Harry's getting a kind of a messy field right now.
Yeah, he's dependent on J's and L's.
Can he pull out of this? Oh, actually, yes. And perfect TPs, and that sets him up for the Tetris. Boom! Tetris for Harry. So he got out of that mess right there. That was looking a little dangerous, up to 55%. But look at this.
Clutch
Bo
Harry.
building all the way back up to a 67% Tetris rate.
Yeah, Bo's been very efficient with his lines, and that's what he needs to do. So even though the scores are neck and neck, because Harry's about 10 or more lines ahead, it's not quite the true score differential.
And look at this. Back to 68% now for Bo. He is playing so well. Now, that was a little odd drop right there, but, again, nothing that's going to hurt him.
It's a left well Harry. So Harry, when we first saw him playing in the scene, he played
left
with the
well
left
Harry.
well, and that was just what he was comfortable with, and he didn't transition or change over to moving his well to the right side until a little bit later. So Harry's one of the best players when it comes to left well, and the reason why left well is discouraged is because of the way that the eyepiece rotates,
Right.
biases towards the right being a better fit. So.
Bo, such a dangerous situation there, was playing on the upper half of the field, and then was
Not
able
just the
to
eyepiece.
dig out, and you
Every
could almost
piece.
you could see his muscles relax after he got out of that situation. Such a common feeling for a lot of Tetris players. It's like you get yourself in the clear and you just kind of feel this wave of, but again, 26 line piece drought now. Ooh, finally gets it, but
He
wasn't
set up a dependency on the left again, so now he needs another long bar to clear.
this is
Bo.
not going well.
Ooh.
Oh,
Gives,
Bo.
gives it to him. He gets it over to the left and clears a line. He's got some digging to do, though. He's in
Can't be
trouble
doing that.
if he can't clear this out. He's starting to get okay pieces to do it. Ooh.
Could be
Bo's-
better.
It's in trouble.
Can he? No,
No,
he needs. Oh no,
he
that
can't.
was.
Yeah, there's too many dependencies. He was too high up. He wasn't able to clear it. But yeah, Harry, with much cleaner game, setting up the left well. It's kind of good to see left well Harry again. He's one of
Left
the
well
when you see
Harry.
him set it up. It's one of the few that can do it, and he pulls it off. And now we're 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Bo had some bad RNG there, but you mentioned he had set up a bunch of dependencies. When you set up those dependencies, you make the RNG harder to help you.
Yeah, right. Because you're just waiting for the piece, and if it never gives it to you, then yeah, it's lights out.
Okay, so tied it up 1-1
Yeah.
now. Again, Harry twice now second place, and then the 2 years that he did not make second place, he was taken out of the tournament by Alex both times.
Yeah, 17 seed Alex Kerr.
Can Harry get himself back into that grand finals position, and will it be again against Jonas?
We will see. But yeah, Bo with a 100% Tetris rate early on, so he's really playing perfectionist. Like that's one thing that he said is that he tries to play too perfect, and sometimes it will get you into trouble, but sometimes it works out. So he's trying to build up on top there, taking the triple.
Every single time Harry has been getting a line piece, it was right when he blocked the right well because of the pieces that he was getting. Finally got himself a Tetris, but as a result, he's only at a 32%, while Bo
this is the year of the black hoodie.
Tetris, right?
Yeah.
I think Jonas was wearing one too.
Tetrises with every single line clear if possible.
I was a little late to the game. I got one of these zip up hoodies too, right around
Difference
like
in
maybe
play
a couple years
styles,
after
and,
this.
When you
I still wear them all the time.
Been so dominant. I think it has to do with him being versatile with piece placement, And
Now, Apollo likes the
even if you
regular
cover up
hoodie.
the
I
well,
wear
if
the
you're
zip
able
up
to open
hoodie.
it right back
Apollo
up,
wears the
then-
regular hoodie.
Then that'll get you. That'll allow you to stay out of trouble.
Right. And speaking of, right now, Bo was not getting.
I used to be
any
all
line
hoodie all the
pieces or
time
anything to solve
growing
that
up.
the right 3 or 4 column
But
situation.
I finally moved over to
got
the
it cleared.
zip up
Is
hoodie, and now
almost Tetris ready. He had to go for the triple right there. He's not getting
No
a
going
T
back.
or the S piece. Finally got one of them.
And keeps it clean with a tuck. So yeah, compound solutions there for that. And Bo finally scores a Tetris. And Harry scoring a Tetris there. Opts to build on top, and boom, dirty Tetris for Harry.
Nicely done. All right, 45% Tetris rate, but again, Bo is sitting pretty right now with the 71%. He has not dropped below.
my daughter's new school has a dress
around
code of
70%
no hoods.
for this whole.
I wouldn't be
entire
able to
match.
function.
Super aggressive play by Bo here. And that's why he's one of the top contenders and got this far in the tournament as thus far.
Yeah, I mean, we've
What
talked
do you mean,
about
purple?
how, if you see that you have a lead against your opponent, you can kind of play a little bit safer.
Like if they set them, like if they just set up, set down,
bury them,
butt up in the air.
Go all out in all Tetrises all the time,
Yeah.
and that's the play style we're seeing from Bo. And Harry's actually some
I
of the
don't
more
think that's
aggressive
happened, though.
plays have been.
There are
Harry's
people who play
over
with the
the years.
controller upside down,
Right,
though.
and again, you look at this. Even though he's down 57,000, he's also ahead by 7 lines.
Because
right
they
now.
came from
so it's even
the
bigger differential
like when
than
you
what you're
play
seeing
on the
in the numbers.
PC.
And yeah, Harry.
The
getting
arrow
some
keys
very
are on
awkward
your
pieces. Gonna
right
have to
hand.
Start cleaning, but again,
But on the
that
Nintendo
just
control, the
means
arrow
Tetris
buttons are
rate
on your
is
left
not
hand.
going up,
So people who
he's
grew
still
up
stuck,
playing Tetris on PC, they like to have the D-pad on the
burning
other
a lot
side.
of lines instead of actually scoring.
Yeah,
And someone
Bo's
came
lead
out
is
with a
just
custom
increasing.
NES controller board that
Yeah, this is gonna be a
swaps,
tough one for
so you don't
Harry.
have to hold the controller upside
At
down. It
this
just
point in
swaps
time,
the.
I mean,
you do play with the controller upside down, but
to make it,
it
far, but,
inverts the D-pad so
and
that your
last
buttons
in
are
this,
correct.
But, the question is,
And that's legal for this
you're
tournament.
going to have to count on Bo topping out at this point in time.
100,000 point
No hoods on
differential,
clothing at all,
this
'cause the
point.
kids
So,
will
at
put 'em
some
up,
point it becomes
even though they're not
insurmountable
supposed to.
because You run out of time with that kill screen at level 29.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. Almost a 30-piece drought. I think that was a 29 drought. And then, oh no, a bad drop
And
by
he's not
Harry.
able to do a tuck or spin out of that. Sometimes you can out of that situation, but wow. The
Oh,
playfield
Harry,
is a
Harry.
mess right now. Can he dig
Harry, you
out?
got to win this.
Harry's gonna have to
You're
start
going to be
digging for
eliminated if you
survival
lose,
here.
Harry.
He is high up. Transition is coming too in the next 25 lines.
Yeah, Harry's situation is looking bleak right now. Even though he's starting to dig out of this again, that Tetris rate.
Oh, he's
is
so far behind,
dropping.
too.
You can
Harry.
see- look at the score lead from Bo right now. Back 8 lines.
You're running the storyline, Harry. You
with
got to make it.
10,000 point lead.
Yeah, this is a definitive lead by Bo.
Yeah, at this point in time, like I said, maybe the hope here is for Bo to actually top out sometime soon. But if he keeps playing like he's playing right now,
Yeah, but Harry pushes down on the D-pad, so he's ahead by
Yeah,
lines. And
her
that,
school has
makes it so that
lockers,
Bo's lines,
but no
he's got more time.
backpacks.
Bo has more time to
Like
make
you can
his Tetrises and
come to
make
school
his
with a
score
backpack,
than
but then you
Harry,
have to
since,
put it in your locker and leave
Harry
it there.
is consistently pushing down and plays aggressively like that.
right, and Harry has transitioned while Bo is still 8 lines away from transition.
I mean, I was
with
in-
a 164.
I was in high school during
lead.
Columbine, and our school really
And Harry having to eat a triple there
freaked
too,
out
burning
like everybody
lines
else
that
did.
could be more optimized for Tetrises. So if Harry wants any hope,
They
of
banned
catching up,
jackets.
he's gonna have to turn on the aggression and start.
We had a
playing
big
clean,
revolt over that.
at the
We had a
same time.
walkout over
That's-
jackets.
That's a tall order for any Tetris player.
Right.
My friend got
Harry
arrested
put mischief there
during the
Right
walkout.
off.
And again,
total mess.
Bo has not dropped very far below 70% Tetris rate. He
Yeah,
just
Bo
transitioned.
super efficient and aggressive, and
But then
just,
I
really
heard that after I graduated, they like
best as he can.
they banned backpacks,
Opts to
or
take a
they
triple
people were
because
like
he knows it's too risky to try to chase for more.
they said everybody was like
at
got
this
like
high of a
milk
level.
crates
But
and were
look at that,
carrying
he's
around
Tetris
their
ready at
books and milk
level-
crates
what
and
is
stuff.
like
It just sounded like a total
level
mess.
20.
Harry eating another triple, and Harry's going to start gonna need to start making more.
It was
Tetris
pretty
if he ever
crazy.
hopes to catch up here.
That was my freshman year of high school
At
too.
this point in time, and then you see a miss.
It was on the
drop from
news.
Harry, another miss drop.
So my
at this point
my
in
friend getting
time,
arrested was on the news.
I really
because
feel like
they managed to catch him getting arrested.
Yeah, Harry's gonna have to
Oh,
dig
but
out
wait,
of this.
wait! Look on the
Yeah,
left
Bo's
over
in
here.
trouble. He's not gonna able to get anything
Oh,
to that
no.
left side, and Bo tops out.
How's he doing now? He's just a doctor.
So fast.
Just a
Look at this,
doctor.
He's at 146,000 lead.
Not a big
and
deal.
The field of Harry is not great, and he's running out of time. Remember the kill screen at
Come on,
level
Harry.
29. If he's not going to score any Tetrises at this point in time, I don't know if he can make the catch up.
Yeah, it would actually take a high proportion of Tetrises at this point.
Yeah,
in order for
he
Harry to
was
catch up. And he's still
the definition of
digging
misguided
down.
youth.
Man. And now,
Super
for
smart.
Bo, this is excruciating
Just kind of
because he just has
Yeah,
to
he
play the
has-
waiting game.
little wild.
His score's set in stone.
He
so
got it-
nothing
he
you
got
can
it
do about
together.
but watch.
Yeah, but look at this, a dependency on 2 J's right there. Finally gets one. And again, this situation
Harry, you gotta hurry
for
up.
Harry right now, he just hasn't been able to get any Tetrises. And as a result, he has not been able to really
Can he do it?
cut
Yeah,
significantly
he's been
into
having
the
to
lead.
cover his holes with other pieces, and that just
Covering his
it
holes.
makes it demoralizing. You have to drill that back down. We're getting down to like 2 more levels that he can score with.
Dude, how's he gonna pull
Yeah,
this
is
off?
crazy. He's running
Kill
out of
screen is
time.
coming.
Again, kill screen because Daz just can't move the
Holy
pieces
crap,
to
so
the
many
side
singles. Oh
fast
my
enough.
God. There's
Pieces
no
drop
way.
too fast for you to be able to make Tetrises or lines.
He's only
with,
got
and
18 lines
yeah,
left.
We call it the kill screen for a reason.
Yeah, and you can see right now Harry
Oh.
in full concentration mode. He got
He needs, like, all
Tetris. Look at this.
Tetrises.
He's 75,000 down.
So 2 Tetrises and
Oh,
change
yeah.
could catch him up. And boom, Tetris for Harry. This chase down
The aggressive
starting to look
play.
possible.
Oh, level 28. This is it.
Yeah.
If he cannot get a Tetris here,
Is Tetris or death? He needs to make that. Make
What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do?
Ooh, Spire in the middle. Boom. Tetris
he's
for
not
Harry.
enough. It's still not enough. He needs 2,400 more points. Oh my
He's
goodness.
gonna single it out. Bo standing up now.
164.
Oh man.
164.
Just a line.
He only has 2 lines of spare.
And
Oh my gosh.
There it is.
With the single.
Right before the kill screen. He
One line to
got
spare.
it. Literally 1 line before the kill screen. And he's
Yeah.
going to win by 2,000. And, maybe pressing down was the reason because he got
That's not, a huge amount of points. He had just a few hundred, and that might have made a difference, but definitely it came down to that last single and being able to handle the pressure,
Intense.
know how many points you need, and survive to make that happen.
Oh my! And
Wow.
that is a buzzer beater
Yeah.
if ever there was a buzzer beater. And Harry Hong defeats Bo by 2,000 points at the kill screen.
And not only that, he had to battle back from that score kind of. Yeah, that score deficit was it was insurmountable looking.
Yeah.
And with time running out, right, you only have a certain amount of lines that you can make before you hit the level 29 kill screen, and Harry did it.
That's what we call composure. Well played by Harry Hong.
I'm pretty sure. Well, I guess I
After
don't know.
that intense match, Harry Hong proceeds to the top 4. Next, Harry will face the winner of the match between Alex Kerr and Elijah Markstrom. Jonas Neubauer also proceeds to the top 4. Jonas will face
Let's
the
go,
winner of the
Jonas!
match between Terry Purcell and Josh Tolles. In the next episode, we'll see those matches and decide who goes to the final round.
Well, this is from 2014. So the youngest in this tournament is probably like 25, maybe 30. This is when all the only people who played were people who played it when they were kids. So everybody's like at least 30 years old.
I was playing too much like I was playing at home.
Like the youngest
where,
person
you could top out, but you could
in
just
this
play around.
tournament is probably older than the oldest
That's the way I think
person
about it. Like at
in the
home,
in this
you're-
year's tournament was.
Obviously, when you're trying to score the highest points you can,
Complete
You're
inversion.
going for the gold. You're going for the gold. You're playing the best you can. You're just, just going all out. And I realized for a tournament, especially in this format, you can't do that because each game is so important that you gotta kind of go for the silver to get the gold. You know, you have to kind of hold yourself back a little bit, you know, and that's pretty much what I had to do. You know, I couldn't be like going like, you know, boom, boom, boom. I had to like be like, okay, you know what, let's step back a little bit and just play a little more conservative, but the best you can.
They do a little bit, but NES Tetris is not
pretty much
as
So pretty
popular
much going for the silver to win the gold. 'Cause I think
overseas.
that's what, you know, the conclusion you know.
So they probably play other
came down
games
to,
instead. There's a this is a long one, this next one. There's a
Scenes of Tetris.
a European championship that they do, but they still use those more really as qualifiers for the USA one. But they had like a you know, during COVID, they couldn't have couldn't have the main tournament in person, so it was all online, which let everybody compete. So there were some really good players from Singapore, Malaysia. I think there was Indonesia. There's a few Japanese players. They're all young. They're young people, but even now, I think there's a really good player who's one of the top players who's from Kazakhstan. But like, you know, that person, they play in the online tournaments, but they don't come for the main tournament.
Gameplay have a strobing effect that may affect photosensitive viewers.
But they have a lot of, like, there's like an event almost every month in person somewhere. They do a lot of regional competitions.
If I can just help paint the picture for somebody that's never competed in something like this, I have my coworkers ask me, well, what's it like? What's it like to play in an event? I said, imagine trying to read a book in the middle of a casino. It's like sensory overload.
We've allowed headphones, if you have headphones, and there's a headphone jack in television before, but usually no one has the sound. The sound isn't on. That would just be crazy. You know, cacophony of noise of Tetris, all the different players, you know. If you want to go mentally ill and crazy in a matter of moments.
I'm such a people person. I want to know what everyone in the room is thinking. I want to be a part of conversations. I have a hard time putting things in the back of my mind. The majority of my accomplishments, Tetris-wise, all of them have been when I'm alone, you know, because I can concentrate fully.
At home, when you have no distractions or control over your distractions, versus being at a tournament, yeah, they're very different situations. And I believe to a certain degree, you got to train yourself to be ready for anything.
I'm mainly paying attention to the announcer. I do like to listen to the crowd. I've never played with headphones. I feel like you can do that at home. You definitely want to be a part of the experience. I think you're missing something pretty great if you play with headphones.
I can't tune anything out. So I knew ahead of time that I could not simply allow all the input to come to me during the competition. I started playing with earplugs first. I just put them in, kind of tuned everything out, and I used the TV volume. So I started just playing with sound flooding my ears. It helped this year because there was some kind of like, how do I want to say this? The announcements constantly, like from the DJ for the PRGE and from Chris Tang, were kind of distracting to me, so I didn't want to hear them all the time. So I basically turned the volume all the way up, put my headphones over the earplugs, and just played.
Great board to determine the outcome of a match like this. These are some of the best players you've ever seen play Tetris.
Chris Tang is like, he's simultaneously the most entertaining dude in the world because he's like engaging and he's making everyone that is not a Tetris player interested in what's going on. But to me at that time, shut the up.
Well, Chris has been with us since the beginning, and we're really lucky to have him.
He was in the NWC. He won the Sega World Championship. He won countless Street Fighter tournaments, countless Dance Dance Revolution tournaments. He's just an all-around video game.
He's a gamer.
God.
He brings the full
true.
package of knowledge, of showmanship, and of, you know, his own history to the contest. So we're really pleased that he continues to be our announcer.
He comes dressed up very, very well. He puts a lot of, he makes his costumes himself. He makes very, very good costumes. He's an incredible guy.
He's giving a context. I understand that for the audience, but I don't want to hear the context he's giving. Like, I'm periodically glancing at the other screen, and I don't need to hear all these like superfluous details about the game. I remember one time he said Swiss cheese to me, like he called my game Swiss cheese, and I even remember going, rolling my eyes during the game at level like 22 because I didn't want to hear that.
When I'm commentating and being aware of the players and what they're doing, how do I calibrate that? How do I sort of tell the story that's going on without affecting the players? Well, the thing is, you can't really second guess yourself about what you're saying. You only have a few moments to say it. A lot of times what you're saying may actually be outdated by the time you're done saying it.
For an observer, it's perfect because he's giving like color commentary and play-by-play commentary. And I tried to drown it out. And I remember remember my headphones only have one headphone, like one side gives a sound. So I remember turning my headphones around to be toward Chris Tang so I didn't hear what the he was saying.
You're doing your best to juggle what's going on. You can't be too aware of the players' feelings as it's going on because, you know, it's what's going on. So I try not to be rude about it. You know, I don't rag on people too hard. There's a way to be diplomatic about what you say. Try to do the best I can.
Okay, I found the video.
It's part of what the event is. There's this constant struggle with you going, I'm not getting the right pieces, and this is why I'm not
Stop
winning.
playing
Or
Papa.
there's noises that are distracting me. This controller doesn't work right because it's pressing wrong. If you want to play on a championship level, it really has to come back all to you. So you need a very heavy.
All right, do you want to see the video,
control.
Purple?
You need to achieve some kind of
Of my
zen
friend getting
with
arrested.
The entire surroundings of the tournament to really play
Yeah,
well.
that's his mom.
Being prepared for competition is an element of the competition. If you
Hold
go
on.
in there expecting it to be just like in the basement or just like at home,
It's all right. You're the most active watcher right now. I'm sure people will enjoy this. This will be a special viewing. So this happened. This is my high school. I'm kind of doxing myself a little bit, but this is my high school when I was a freshman. In context, we got new air conditioners that summer, and the thermostats didn't work, so they were always running, and the building was freezing. And they also banned jackets that same time. So they're like, you can't wear jackets at school, but it's freezing, and everybody was mad. That's the context.
About 100 students at Jeffersonville High
And this has been edited a little bit by my friend, but
School walked out of class this morning. They say they were protesting an unfair dress code. The disruption was quickly snuffed out by police, but not before one teenager was taken into custody. Wave 3 News reporter Michelle Moon has the story.
The walkout started with just a handful of students, but quickly grew. About 100 students of the school's 2,000 skipped class in protest.
Gabe Kirby, I knew him. I think he ended up having a standoff with police.
Coats were banned inside the building as part of the school's dress code for security reasons.
Coats can be used to conceal contraband, weapons, and so forth.
But the building's new heating system left classrooms chilly and some students boiling with anger.
It's cold in that building. look,
That's 2 kids before graduation.
The protest was calm until students tried to move it from the stadium to the main building.
Is the principal failing here?
Okay.
They're not staying.
They're not going in the building. I'd like to.
He realized he's talking to the camera.
That's when this teenage boy shot officers an obscene gesture.
That's my friend. Having a bad time.
What is this all about? The only people who are that inactive are pensioners, sick, or the
confrontation
unemployed.
left Principal Edward Weber.
They charged him with resisting arrest
disappointed.
until they found out there was video of it.
Because it's a reflection on our school.
And they asked, like, it's over. My friend edited over top of it, but you could like right here. They're like, "What'd you do?" And he goes, "I flipped him off."
People who are that inactive are pensioners, sick, or the
confrontation
unemployed.
left Principal Edward Weber.
Yeah, it's funny now. Like I said, successful, graduated med school, 2 great kids. He's all right.
Then you're going to be at a disadvantage. Things might
He's
not
not
be
just
perfect
a
when you get
doctor
there.
because he also has an
Just got
engineering
old,
degree.
man.
He went to engineering school. He did a lot of different things in his life, but he ultimately just, he's only been a doctor for a few years.
To
So
decide who will face Jonas in the semifinals, Terry Purcell takes on Josh Tolles.
Who do you particularly not want to face this year in the tournament?
Who do I not want to face? Really, no one. I want to play all the best people.
I try not to bring it up. I
The
mean,
only people I would be
it
hesitant.
was a traumatic time in his life, I would
is,
say, but
Ben Mullen and you, Terry Purcell, because I like you guys. I don't want to beat anyone, but yeah, I'm thrilled that I get to my path.
it's only funny because it turned out okay.
Ben, Terry, Jonas to the finals.
But I don't think he's very proud of it.
Awesome.
Terry Purcell, come on down.
He got exposed to a lot of
He's
the
just recently maxed out. Congratulations.
corruption in the youth
And he'll
judicial
be
system.
Fighting against someone else we've seen before.
Thanks
Josh
to that.
Tolles, come on down. Okay. Good seeing you again, Josh. So go ahead and get your couple of minutes of practice in. We're adjusting our stations right now for our competitors. Here we go, round 1, Josh versus Terry.
Yeah, of course, Terry coming in here, getting 3rd seed.
But like the
here,
judge that like was messing with him, like
well, and of course,
I think was a judge up until
putting in so
relatively
much
recently.
work
Like
coming
he was,
into this weekend.
and you get saddled with that judge, so like he couldn't get away from that judge.
Yeah, we've seen him have a meteoric rise in the rankings.
And that judge was
In
super messed up.
2012, he came in 30th place, but in 2013, improving on that, coming in 19th, and now you're here in 2014, 3rd seed.
Yeah, but I mean, let's not take anything away here from Josh. He finished 7th and 6th in the last
Yeah,
2
back to
years.
Tetris. Tetris Terry.
You know, he did say.
Well, you hear
however,
like
that
all these
of
years
all the
later, you
players
hear
that
like
he
all
would
these
go up
exposés
against, who
about
he doesn't want to face would be Ben
judges
and
who were
Terry.
like
And
getting
he already
kickbacks
fought
for
Ben
sending kids
and
to
had
to
eliminate
juvenile
him,
hall and
now
stuff. You
here
know,
he is going up against Terry.
corrupt
And let's see if
judges.
he can repeat that and eliminate Terry as well.
Yeah, that was an interesting
That-
thing
that
to,
would be
to have
funny.
happen.
That
where,
judge
you
would
know,
probably be
you,
like, "What the hell?"
You talk about who you do don't want to play, and sometimes it just happens that way.
Yep. That's how the seeding falls, and you know you gotta accept it.
And Terry with some holes in his stack there. He's going to have to clear those, burn that down to get back into a good position. It gives Josh a chance to increase his lead here. He's now up by about a Tetris and a half.
Yeah, and Josh is playing really, really well right now, 57% Tetris rate. Meanwhile, Terry suffering from a drought
also-
right now. Okay, there it is, 19th piece.
Giving a cop the finger,
And is he
the
gonna
finger is
keep that well there?
protected
I guess he
free
is.
speech.
Oh, yeah,
I
there
will
you
say.
go. Yeah, and you know what? It pays off. There you go. Gets the line piece right away.
We saw a cool line spin there for Josh, keeping his playfield clean. Just really good play there. Another
Yeah.
Tetris for Josh. So maintaining a lead, 50,000 points now.
Cop cannot arrest you for
At a
flicking them
70
off.
Basically a 70% Tetris rate. Really, really nice. Anything over 60% is basically max out pace. And yeah, there you go. Had a slight drought there, but not enough to cause him any problems. He's, oh, okay. I'm not sure if he meant to slide that all the way, but now as a result, Josh is going for a column 9 Tetris, and it will work out for him as
Boom,
well.
Tetris for Josh. All right, both players now doing kind of non-standard wells, taking Tetrises where they can. So very resourceful players here.
Yeah, but despite, that little bit of a tough start for Terry over there, he's gotten himself up to a 49% Tetris rate. So he is coming right in there.
Coming back and with a clean-looking stack now.
Yeah, you can see right now, the calm look on his face right now belies a lot of the nervousness, I think, that, he feels right now. This is a stressful environment, playing in these tournaments here.
Yeah, I've heard that he said that if something happens and he doesn't,
that is kind of crazy.
Doesn't win,
I hope
it's
they're
not gonna
like
be because of his
cool
opponent, it might be
cops,
because
if
of
that's
nerves.
possible.
So when a player understands what is and isn't their strengths or weaknesses, that's that's how you learn and grow as a player.
Yeah. Oh, that was a nice little eyepiece burn right there from Terry to get himself almost clean. There he goes. He's Tetris.
Yeah, I guess it depends what kind of cop you end up being. But
has to block it again.
I only have one friend from high school that became a police officer, and he was working like undercover narcotics.
Okay, here we go. Now if he can
And
finally
then he
just
became
get
a
the
sergeant.
eyepiece while he's Tetris ready. But
So,
it looks
like,
like he's getting, oh wow, and he's gonna.
anytime
block
I see
that
there's
column,
like
but
a
it
something
worked
really
out
bad that
okay.
happens,
A lot of times you try to block that 10th column.
he's
when
always the
you're
one that's quoted
guaranteed,
in the
to be
paper.
able to clean it twice, he was not guaranteed, but it paid off for
Boom.
him.
Back-to-back Tetrises from Terry, catching up a little bit in score, but Josh has been scoring consistently.
And actually, if you
I'll
look
see him at my
Terry
reunion
over
in a
there,
few
he's
weeks.
8 lines ahead. Actually, now 12 lines ahead. So
Josh is a bit more ahead in scoring potential than the numbers would lead you to believe.
They're probably
But Josh
they're-
played really
we're-
well, and his play field's been clean almost the whole time.
Problems around here like anywhere else. So, there'd be kind of strange stories, and it's like he was always the one quoted, like Sergeant, whoever, don't want to dox him, but Sergeant says this, and I'm like, hey, yeah, I know him.
in this tournament.
Scores are neck and neck, but Terry is still ahead.
But
on
there was some
lines. Josh
crazy
having more time to make his score.
like story here, like a few years back of like this guy was
about
like
Terry a lot here, obviously with all
like
the
he
practice
killed
that
his
he's
I
been
think he
putting
killed
in
his
here,
girlfriend, and he was
has the
like
potential
they
to
caught him like
maybe
he was like
make
eating
a
her or something, like
serious
something
run
crazy
at this
happened.
if he can get to face
It was like a
off.
really
I
messed
mean,
up
I don't
story,
wanna
and he
assume
was
Jonas
quoted
is
in it.
gonna
I
be
didn't
in
have
the
the I
grand
didn't
finals, but,
dare ask him about it.
trying to make a
I wanted to
serious
ask
run
him
to
about
get
it, but I
into
didn't dare
grand
ask him
finals to
about
face
it. It was too
whoever
messed
is
up.
there.
And Terry about 10 lines from transition now, where the game's going to speed up. We'll see if that changes the complexion of this match.
Hey, good luck, Nick.
Yeah, again, with the 15,000 lead, 17,000 lead right now.
If it's a civil case, it could be
he's
fun.
17 lines ahead right now.
If it's a criminal
so
case, maybe not
a
so
true
much.
Lead, so
Taking a triple into transition, so the game has sped up. We're on level 19 now. Josh a little bit behind, so Josh having another 13 lines or so to go.
a misdrop by Terry there. And so now
You've
he's
avoided
gotta
that
do a
one
little
lady,
bit of cleaning here.
that lady's case where they said that she killed her
Yeah,
boyfriend.
he's going to aim to clear out that, drill back down to the bottom, and then get Tetris ready
Yep.
again.
There you go.
What a mess that thing
There
was.
It is. Got that nice playfield setup here for himself. Meanwhile, Josh still hasn't transitioned.
At least they fired
yet.
that cop.
Still 7 lines away from the transition.
And he's probably going to do it with a
I've got
Tetris.
I
at
got
this
called
rate.
to jury duty a few times.
And again, he doesn't
But I've
really
only-
need to play aggressive or anything at
Boom,
all.
Tetris for Josh.
I only
Because look
served
at
on
that.
well, I
The
served on
scores
2
are
juries, but
almost
one
tied,
really
and
didn't
he's
didn't
still
amount to much
almost
or anything. But
20 pieces behind.
Mm-hmm.
So for sure,
the criminal
he
ones I
has
got
a-
out of every time, though. I
his
was
score
like,
is higher via
no, thank you.
potential.
Yeah, both players having good play field.
Made sure I had an excuse of why I wouldn't be a good jury member.
To play a bit safe, looking for a more optimal setup to score his Tetrises with. Ooh.
Yeah, misdrop by Josh. He's gonna have to
One
do
of
a
them
little
was
bit
like
of
a guy
cleaning.
like tried to
Shouldn't be too
run
bad if
over
you can find the right pieces
basically
to
run
slide
over a
in there.
cop.
Yeah, he's playing
And
playing to burn down now.
Yeah.
I was like,
now, oh,
they're
there
like,
it is right there. That's
they were
exactly
thinking
what
they're
he
thinking
needed.
people are going to
And
drop
Josh
out
is,
because
virtually cleaned up here.
they get too
Still, though,
heated,
spending
thinking
a
that
lot of
anyone would
time
dare
with
harm a
his
police
burning
officer.
here. You could see now that the Tetris rates are.
But I didn't want to be
basically
on it because,
equal here,
like,
49%
I'd had
to 45%. Which
growing
means
up, I'd
Terry
run
is
into the
definitely,
police
catching
department
up.
here a few
Nice
times,
line
and
clears.
Yeah, kept it real clean. Boom, Tetris for Terry. The lead now becoming
I
definitive.
thought they were kind of.
Josh now.
I didn't trust
needing
him
to
as
be the
far
one
as
to
I could
catch
throw
up.
him, basically.
Well, again, he is.
And then, like a year
actually
later,
now,
all the Breonna
22
Taylor
lines
stuff came
ahead.
out, so
Wow,
kind
he's
of
30 with 27 lines.
just
ahead
showed
at
I was
one
right,
point in
basically.
time.
And Terry having a missed shift there. He's gonna
Oh,
have to dig
no.
a little bit to rectify that. Oh, another missed drop.
Oh, this is gonna
and
be
this
rough.
is getting kind of messy. And I don't think he's going to be able to fill that hole on the left. Oh,
wow.
but look, he's
Yeah.
clearing the right side.
He
It's
actually-
dropping the left
Dude,
side down.
Tetris
so
Terry
that he can do more
clears.
clears.
And meanwhile, on Josh's
and Josh
side,
tops out.
yeah, with a
not
bad,
able to dig that back down.
and wow, yeah. So Terry,
Yeah, the first time I ever got jury duty was when I was in college.
Big sigh of relief because I don't think he actually.
So I didn't get the
thought he was
notice.
still in it
It was
at
on
that
winter
point.
break, so I didn't get the notice till I'd
didn't
already
have to
missed the
worry
first
about it
date.
in the end because Josh ends up topping out.
Yeah.
I was
with
like,
a
oh,
lower
crap.
Score.
And all those during that time, you're just focused on your game. And
I was pretty
sometimes when you
nervous.
top out like that, you think that you've already lost it, but it turns out, his opponent.
It was a smaller town, so that
as well. So
that jury duty was like you show up for 3 different days.
The body language from Terry.
They
over
canceled
there.
one other one, and the one that I showed up for, they called everybody up there except for me.
Man, definitely.
And I don't know if it's because I wasn't there that first time.
Nerves in him.
Because everybody knew each other
especially,
from the
just
first
barely
time.
Surviving that, it's a close call in terms of score. Don't know if you've made it until you know you've made it.
But they had called literally everybody up there except for me when they filled the
I
jury.
didn't see exactly what.
Like, okay, we've got our jury, and like, I was the only person who hadn't been called up.
I was looking at Terry's
Both
field
players
over there.
were really
yeah.
fighting for their lives there, and sometimes you just can't. Both are in such a
You
situation.
kind of do because it can be
can't,
really
focus
boring,
on
you know.
both.
You just sit around doing nothing.
Let's see if,
especially back
Josh
then, you
can,
didn't have cell phones or anything. So
make sure that doesn't happen again. But right now, a lightning start for Terry with a 84% now Tetris rate.
Yeah, both players excellent Tetris rates here. They're being.
and my more
really
recent jury duty, I
optimal
sat around watching
about
Cobra
using those
Kai on my
lines,
phone.
making sure each one can be a Tetris if need be.
All right, and there you go, boom.
And I only got pulled into one jury pool, and it was for it's for a child
looks like
abuse
he's turning on
case.
the aggression now.
And I was like, I
Josh,
was like, I can't be impartial
always being aggressive
for a child
pretty much,
abuse
only
case.
taking the triple there, getting up high, but bang down to Tetris right after.
And
now a
my
Tetris here
my friend who looks a lot like
has a
Tetris
little
Terry on the
bit of
right
burden,
here is
so he's
a
down to
works for the state
75%
with domestic
but,
violence.
Again, very
He's a
very strong percentage.
prosecution
rate right
for
now.
domestic violence.
And now boom,
I was like,
Tetris, and again,
it's like that feels too close to child abuse, and like I know
that is definitely max out pace.
I would be too
And,
biased
Josh at
in favor of the
54, so
prosecution.
not quite max out pace, but just under it.
Yeah, no, he's playing super aggressive. He's going for some tucks, trying not to create holes. And when you do that, you're trying to set it up for a Tetris any way you can with minimal burning. But
Oh,
Josh topping
no.
out just suddenly.
What happened again? Just a sudden, just topping out for Josh, like out of nowhere.
And then Terry looks incredulous.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was, Nick, in
That
my
it happened
smaller
again.
town. It was like
But that's gonna do
once
it.
every 2 or 3
Terry
weeks
taking out Josh in two, just
for
like
three
that.
three sessions.
That's kind of how you. That's
But
a nice
here,
relaxing
since
way
I'm in
to take a match
Louisville,
like that, playing your game and having
big
your
huge
opponent
county,
top out twice.
we have to go
with
for
you
2
in
weeks
the
straight.
lead. That's just
Go every day for
unfortunate
2
for
weeks.
Josh.
Like
Yeah.
no transition and just not even.
And you get
getting
pulled in
to,
constantly,
bar
get pulled
for,
into jury pools. There's
even
just
kinda
so
same
much
card, too.
activity.
Right.
Past level 19.
And unfortunately,
Like that first time I got pulled into
Josh
three
is out of
jury
the
pools and got
tournament,
put
but
on 2
Terry
juries.
is going to move on.
But yeah, it all depends where you're from and just how active it is, what cities you live in and
The
stuff.
Classic Tetris World Championship uses old TV sets called CRTs. Classic Tetris experts
You could share your
generally
TMI though,
prefer
Purple.
CRTs for one key reason. They don't have lag. Lag is when you expect something to happen on the screen at one moment, but it appears slightly late. Because Classic Tetris requires a precise rhythm, divided into fractions of a second, and players can't bring their own TV sets to the tournament, they train on CRT TVs at home. At the tournament, the CRTs operate exactly the same as their home TV sets, though they may be fuzzier.
The original first tournament was me and my car going around to like every Goodwill in a 10-mile radius, just gathering as much TVs that fit in my car, you know, and then I'd have to go home. It was like this like collecting process, and then I filled like this giant pyramid in my
I don't even
like 30.
That one, it was like where the guy tried to run over a police officer.
All those are now gone because the tournament has moved from Los Angeles to Portland.
They're like, you know, a lot of the testimony is going to rely on police officers and things like that. They're asking if people had been arrested before, you know.
So that's kind of part of their sponsorship.
And in my head, it's like, I haven't been arrested, but I have run into the LAPD before, and they're
it's just so
awful.
difficult to obtain and move around those CRT televisions.
So they were like, asked if anybody thought they couldn't be impartial or something. I was like, yeah, I don't like
sturdy, so you
they
have
had
to
say,
pack
yeah.
them properly. You have to,
I don't really like the police.
Take it easy on them or they'll break. So
just storing them in my garage for a year, it was come back, 2 are broken, moving them to the U-Haul truck.
Oh, that's it. Well, that's a good way to get out of it.
Yeah. It's exhausting. Those things are heavy. And they're not like...
Just be like, I've already forgotten what you said.
The moment in time where now, if you go to a Goodwill, you're seeing flat screen LCDs at the Goodwill. The whole idea of just, we'll just take a couple trips around town to the Goodwills and find all the TVs we need, that's done. Down the line, the biggest challenge is sourcing enough CRT televisions, which actually worries me that 3-4 years from now, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to pause this just to say this. So like, yeah, when I was like a teenager, like I wasn't, like one time I was like, we had just watched a band play and we walked across the street. We were standing at a gas station and we were like 15 and we were waiting for our ride. And we were just standing in front of the gas station waiting. And like all of a sudden this cop just comes like right around the corner, like of the gas station, like stomping around. And he's like, hey, you got any eggs on you? You got any eggs on you? And we're like, what are you talking about? And he's like, get your hands out of your pocket. And he like, my friend was just standing there with his hands in his pockets. He like grabbed my friend's hands and like yanked them out of his pocket. Like, you got any eggs? You got any eggs? It's already illegal, right? And we're like, what are you talking about? And then like, he starts like stomping around and like, he starts going over to other people. And he's like, someone threw an egg at my car. Someone threw an egg at my car. We're like, okay, just been standing here. And then I think right after that, like my mom showed up with the car. So like we were like walking over to it and the cop, like, I guess he didn't get any luck, but he like gets in his car and like he starts yelling out the window. Like, I know it was you. I know it was you. It was your generation. So like, that was my first experience with the Louisville Police Department. I was like, okay, so they're crazy. I told my mom about it too. Like my friend that he grabbed was like, he's half Vietnamese. So she was like, do you think he was racist? Like grabbing grabbing him because, he wasn't white. It's like, maybe, I don't know. He wasn't elderly. But he was middle-aged. I mean, he seemed like he's 50 or something, right? Yeah, he's yelling about our generation because someone threw an egg at his car. It's like, okay, well, it wasn't us. And then when I was, and then like a couple years later, something had just happened where like they shut down a venue or something, and my stepbrother was mad about it. I don't know. We were like driving downtown Louisville, and I was probably 18, I would say, maybe 17 even. And I was just driving down the road, and my stepbrother's in the back seat, and there's a cop car like just like right to the side of us, and in his infinite wisdom, my stepbrother yelled at him. He called him a bad slang for a police officer, and but he just yelled it one word, and that was it. But the cop was kind of in front of us, like he couldn't really see. The cop immediately slammed on his brakes, pulled us over, made my stepbrother get out of the car, made me give him my license, and like when he's yelling at my stepbrother about it. And then like he gave me things like, you want to make sure he keeps his window or something like that. Like gave me some attitude about it. Which again, I was too young to really process all that at the time, but not illegal to do that. Shouldn't have been pulled over. Didn't need to give him my license. It's like none of that stuff. So it's like those are my run-ins just as a teenager, doing really nothing illegal. So it's like these guys are bullies. Anyway. Now it's stuck with me to this day. It's a random. Yeah, it's like, well, man, they're called like a street. There's no checks and balances on them at all. They can do whatever the hell they want. And they're like, no one can stop them. It's like they're so powerful. It's crazy. It's like if you're a good person, if you're a good police officer, it's like you get pushed out. Drives me crazy.
It's going to be a bigger and bigger problem because other than retro gaming fans, who really cares about these CRT televisions? Who's going to continue to repair them? I think that's a serious question. So we're going to have to find a way to extend classic Tetris into the future without those televisions. And that's something.
There was a few years back and the Louisville Police Department, they were literally driving around, throwing slushies out their window at people and recording it. I think at homeless people. And they were recording it on their phones. The police department. See, the Louisville Police Department's got problems, man.
Something that I think we're all concerned about.
They did get fired, but rightfully
to decide
so.
who will face Harry in the semifinals, Alex Kerr goes head-to-head with Elijah Markstrom.
Like, imagine being so dumb you would record yourself doing that. Yikes. But you're the police department. You're supposed to be protecting those people. It's crazy. Like, what kind of, like, and like, they were sending it to other people in the department, like sharing it. So, like, there's a bunch of people who knew about it. It's like, what kind of environment are you in if you know that that's happening? That's crazy.
Alex versus Eli, both storied veterans of this tournament.
Yeah, and you know,
like that's an institutional problem.
Alex, of course,
that's crazy.
You know, almost kind of like the young gun coming in this year.
Yeah, definitely. He's somewhat of a Tetris wizard and knows so much about not just one version of the game, but Tetris in general. Him being a grandmaster on the Tetris
looking at where my
series games by
cursor is on the wrong screen.
Games that only came out in Japan.
Yeah, and I mean, he's also like maybe one of the first true scientists, I feel like, of Tetris as well. So aware of like how all the different Tetrises behave, knowing stuff
some
like,
of the biggest problems in our police department
how long it takes for
are
actions to happen.
Even the white
someone who studied
male cops. It's crazy. I mean, that just shows you how
like he was one of the best people to explain
invasive it is to be in that department.
And how it works and how it's like a delayed auto shift where you
it's like it doesn't matter where you came from, you get infected with that.
Have it held down for longer and it'll start going automatically after a number of frames. And Alex was a really great person to introduce that that knowledge to us.
Yeah, unfortunately, right now for him, he is getting some RNG here at the start, which has forced him into some very unsightly builds here.
There's during all the protests, there's this young female cop
on and off the
who made some really incendiary remarks on her Facebook page about how she was going to like basically beat up these protesters or whatever. She had some really nasty stuff to say about the protesters.
Alex had.
And nothing happened to her. And then literally a few days later is when
you can see right here
that
now
that guy got shot and killed during the protests.
So he's definitely building
because
you can actually see him pressing down
he was protecting somebody
once in a while, dropping the
at his business who she was shooting at with her pepper, like, you know, pepper balls or whatever. You're not supposed to shoot those at people. You're supposed to shoot them at the ground. She was shooting them at her.
Who's ahead on lines is also ahead on score. That might not be the true score
And
difference.
the guy stormed out and shot back at her, and then, like, you know, he got shot and killed.
Eli has just a 4
He shouldn't have shot. Don't get me wrong. That was a really stupid thing to do, but it was instigated by her.
Ahead, you know, by 4 lines, and they're down by, you know, and they're.
It took them forever to get rid of her too from that. And then, like, during those protests, one of the cops
having to kind of set up
shot a reporter with those pepper balls, like shot right at her.
Tetris
Again, not supposed to even do that. And they've never even said who it was. They've never even come out with who did it.
Yeah.
Still trying to figure it out, you know. It's like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, actually, he's going to be going for it. He's going for it. But again, you know, we've talked about chasing after pieces and, you know, pushing too hard to get a certain piece. He's still set up for the Tetris, but look
hungry
at this.
for that dirty Tetris.
Like, how are people supposed to have any trust in the police when they have people like that employed and don't do anything about it?
Some digging to survive here.
Can he save himself? Can this actually happen?
Oh, and he knows that's not going to happen because,
look at the 33 line
drought.
Oh my!
That was unfortunate. And Eli with a huge lead at the end, 122.
Come on, Alex.
Wow, just great performance by both, but it was a drought that did Alex in there. He waited just too long for that long bar.
Yeah, and it's funny because, you know, I was just talking about chasing after that piece, and that's what happens. He chased after the eyepiece for so long. And keep in mind, I mean, he just defeated Quaid as well, who was the first seed of this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I mean, that's a pretty big accomplishment, taking out the #1 seed. And in fact, even 2 years ago, he was 4th place at CTWC. But of course, guess who was 3rd place? It was Eli.
Yeah, but Alex, being a finalist, I mean, that's any finalist is an incredible achievement, especially when, you know, Jonas has been our champion, you know, 4 years running.
Oh, again, see right there, Alex was learned his lesson from the last one, wasn't chasing after one of the pieces, and then he got it right away. That is the standard Tetris scenario. Everyone who plays Tetris knows that feeling too well.
Yeah. And in tournament situations like this, I mean, sometimes you got to suck it up and take what it gives you. And if you got to burn, you got to burn just to survive.
Yeah, well, it looks like, so Eli there, that time it was his turn. He was like, you know what, I'm going to burn. And then the next piece was the eye piece, and he couldn't use it. But there he goes. He got it now.
Boom, Tetris for Eli. Now up 2 Tetrises, 45,000 points ahead.
Yeah, and with a nice 45% Tetris rate right now.
Alex catching up a bit with that off-centered Tetris.
Yeah, again, a couple of awkward. Yeah, he's going to have to take the triple, is Eli.
But
so that
his playfield's super clean now.
Yeah, that's why he took that, because it was guaranteed him a clean playfield.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's Tetris ready.
We're neck and neck, so they're going to be battling back and forth. Boom, Tetris for Eli. Boom, Tetris for Alex.
Yeah, look at that. And actually, Eli is ahead. So technically speaking, Alex, if he can score Tetris here, he's actually ahead. See?
Yeah.
Now you see he's ahead in points and still under in lines. And you can see he has the 53% Tetris rate. Tetris rate is usually a better indicator of who's ahead in the match than the actual score.
Because right now we're neck and neck.
Why is it chomping on the gum? Do people even chew gum anymore? I feel like gum is like dead, you know?
Ahead, it may not be the true lead. And here you have Alex Tetrising back with a higher rate.
Right. So 53%.
Alex is sick at Tetris. He did like a showcase
not quite
at GDQ a few years back.
Go a long way to getting
like
towards
making designs and on the board and stuff.
He's definitely not at max out pace, but he can get there, especially with this.
Like, it's one thing to just to play Tetris, but to like be able to do that stuff where you make
they are hitting their stride.
make designs in the play field. That's crazy.
Now that they're kind of warmed up, so we could be.
He can
seeing
like
bigger
make the
scores
thing
here
where
with
it's
the
like you
second
make a
game here.
1 block gap from
that big drought
the bottom left
took
corner
Alex out
all the
very
way up in a
early
diagonal
on.
to the right side, and then
Right
all the
now,
way
it
up on
looks
the
like
diagonal to the
Eli
left
is
side.
hitting a drought. Ooh, look at this 20-piece drought now. Ah, there we go. Ooh.
Boom, Tetris for Eli, and Alex is ahead, widening the lead now with
Yeah,
that
yeah, like
Tetris.
while playing.
Yeah, Eli has to do a little bit of burning, but he's fine now. Oops, yep, he didn't want to wait too long for the eyepiece, and
And not like once in a minute, like
eyepiece is
on
perfect for
command, he
Eli
did it.
to get
On
another
command.
Tetris.
And Alex firing back with the Tetris there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really feel like both players are starting to hit their stride, and just they're, when you have to dig so much and you don't get a chance to score too much, that kind of take you out of it and you lose your momentum. But now they're kind of getting that momentum back.
And you see that a little bit, that little glance from Alex over there. Sometimes when you take a time a little bit, you can kind of take a sneak peek at your opponent, see where they're at, see how they're doing.
Yeah, I noticed that. Some of the younger players, especially later in the history of our sport, the younger players would be the ones to glance over. So it's not surprising to see Alex be the one to do that in this case.
Trying to see, get a gauge of what your opponent's doing, how nice their stack is, kind of glance at their
Ghosting.
score
They're
real quick
ghosting.
to find out how
Illegal.
close they are to you. So, we've talked about conservative versus aggressive play. Being able to quickly calculate, your lead against the opponent allows you to decide whether you want to
I
play
think it's a
aggressive or
tripod with a
conservatively.
camera on it. But that would be
it takes a certain
hilarious if
amount
it
of
was a
skill and
microphone.
mental bandwidth to be able to like gauge that. You just glance over and it's like, okay, do I go full throttle, or am I safe? Can I just take it easy?
Another drought.
A novelty
for Alex.
wizard staff
Going to be
microphone.
able to survive that, but giving him a kind of an unwieldy playfield. Meanwhile, Eli, beautiful playfield. He's catching up in that Tetris rate. As you can see, he's at 43%. Alex back down to 50%.
And once again, Eli ahead in line count. Approaching the transition, we're going to see level 9. Level 19 is going to come in the next Tetris that he
I was thinking how that'd be really funny to do, but like that's literally just a mic stand. Like that's the most common thing in the world, right?
Yeah, but you can see the big difference in when Eli's hitting down. He's at 128 lines. He's like 14 lines ahead of Alex. Alex still needs 15 lines before he even gets the transition.
So yeah, Eli now at level 19. It's still a clean play field, so he's going to continue to score, and probably if he can get it built back up, he's drilled all the way down to the bottom, playing safe there.
Yeah, I mean, he's already at level 20, not even 19, and Alex hasn't even transitioned yet.
When I went to the
going to in 5 lines,
CTWC last year, the
Eli like 20
Lifetime
lines,
Achievement
20
Award they
lines
started doing
ahead.
was
Alex
given
finally
to
transitioning, level 19,
Alex
speed
here.
up.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really nice play field for Eli, considering he just had, I think it was said like a 29-line drought or something. Managed to survive that really well.
So we're like best friends.
But playing pretty safe.
Yeah, it's funny he looks young, but he's like, he would be super old.
Almost 20 lines. He's down
compared
by
to people
10,000
today.
points.
Ooh, slight misdrop by Eli.
Well, now he is old, but
he meant to shift.
so
that
we
eyepiece
all are.
over to the right one more, and he didn't quite make it. So he's gonna maybe build a center well here.
Oh, yeah, and he's not getting the pieces that he needs. Oh, just got that over there in time. Okay. And yeah, he's going to get a triple
He
there.
bailed on that center well, so could be the right thing to do.
There he is.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he had any choice
Getting the
with
Lifetime
kind of
Achievement
pieces
Award
that
right
he was
there.
getting. But there we go. All right, cleaning mostly down. Still has a reliance on an I.
I took that picture.
Or a J, but finally got that cleaned as well.
I think
Now,
so.
In terms of raw score, Alex.
I don't know. I didn't
up,
stand
so,
next to him or anything.
Eli might be.
He's skinny like
significantly
me.
More behind than the numbers.
Oh yeah.
May seem.
Oh yeah, he is definitely. Oh wow, are you going for a center? Oh
no! He meant to get that eyepiece down.
Purple, I crashed my.
To the right, and he didn't.
I finally
make it,
crashed my one wheel.
And topped out.
I've never really had too bad of an accident on it yet.
Precision stopping with the DAS is
200 miles. I made 200 miles
Yeah,
without
Eli just
having a bad wipeout, and I had a bad wipeout.
That that shouldn't have happened. So that takes us to
Got-
1-1 now.
Got road rash on my elbows, on my back, on my on my ankle.
Between both pieces, you can't adjust the piece
Like my
once or
elbow's
twice
like
left
purple.
and right. You have to let go at exactly the column you need to drop it. And
I was wearing a helmet, luckily, because my helmet did hit the ground.
One too far, one too little, and adjust.
I don't know how bad I would have hit, but I did hit my head on the ground.
Because you can't move it as fast.
And yeah, unlike Martin,
I wasn't going very
you can
fast, but
slide pieces off
I
the
did not
surfaces.
fall
Once it locks
gracefully.
Down, that's it. You got to take that placement.
Yeah, me too, Cole. I mean, it doesn't take much of anything for it to be like, well, I'm in pain. I'm going to be in pain forever, right?
Compared to a lot of
That's my main goal, is to not really hurt myself.
Okay.
And I kind of didn't really hurt myself. I mean, just scrapes is one thing, you know.
The boom Tetris.
Some scrapes and bruises.
Percent, but Eli with a beautiful start right now at 80%.
I didn't tear anything. I didn't break anything. So I feel like it's okay, but I would prefer not to have fallen at all. So I did
once
cave
again,
and
he's up
buy
to
some
a slight line
elbow
sleeve
pads.
because he's pushing down on the pad.
So I was like, why would I ever hit my elbows? And I hadn't,
And it does
but
give you
now
a
I
few
have.
extra points, when you do press down on the
I use
pad.
wrist guards because I've fallen on my wrist before. And like, you put your hands down when you fall. So just keep my hands from getting all scraped up is good.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I still managed to scrape up my hand a little bit up here, but down here was
Years
protected.
from now, it might actually make the difference, in a match significantly.
Yep.
But a lot of times, it just depends on whether the player's comfortable with it or not.
Yeah, a lot of times.
I mentioned it because we're talking about how skinny it is. Like my back is so bony, so it's like I've got like
becomes a super
five
rhythm.
Road rash marks up my back on where my spine sticks out.
Oh, sets himself a T-spin over there.
Is he going to use it? Yeah, T-spin.
I look like I just got pulled out of the Matrix.
Now you don't get any points for doing T-spins in this version of Tetris, but having that in your move set allows you to open up the play field more. And
I have,
just
yeah.
have more options for placement, so it's a good thing to be able to do.
Well, I've been having
honestly, Eli is
problems with my shoulder, so
even with the
I'm lucky I didn't
he's got a
hurt my shoulder.
And so I think he's playing pretty safe right now. I mean,
and ironically, like
literally,
I
there's a 60% Tetris rate compared to a 19% Tetris rate.
Kind of crashed like 2 weeks ago.
Points as much as Alex is. There's still
I just had to jump off of it.
And go for the chase.
And I didn't,
down.
but I didn't like fall or anything, but I had to jump off of it. And just me like jumping off of it and like slamming my foot down hard,
And they top out early, you'll be able
that
to
hurt my
chase down
shoulder.
and know exactly
That's how
what
bad my
routes you need
shoulder
and
has
not
been.
have to
Like
go
that
full
was like
throttle if
super
you don't
painful
have
to my shoulder because I stomped on the ground.
Well, Alex definitely behind here, and they've caught up in lines.
Eli missed the T-spin there.
He's going to be able to get a burn here, but how's he going to handle this situation? Going for as many burns as he can. Actually, that's perfect.
No, I don't think so.
IB's after a drought, perfect, and now he is back in it with a
Just kinda
Tetris-ready,
happens.
clean play field.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes a player can
It's
make some
weird.
mistakes. Like
Doesn't
just
make
there,
any
he,
sense.
Botched the T-spin, but he was able to dig himself out of it. And a good player is not going to just not make as many mistakes, but they're also going to be able to recover when they do.
Right.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's
kind of like
one
that
thing
though.
you learn
Did it get
as a
better?
Tetris player, the better you get, is you just don't.
I mean,
panic
mine
because
started
you've
hurting
been
like
in
that
these
from nothing.
situations
So
way too many times, and yeah, you can survive those.
Yeah, and being able to take risks to save your play field.
Well, okay,
another misdrop.
But again, no panic on the side of Eli because he knows he can dig himself.
like I
out
first
of
started
it.
noticing that
Still low
I
on
had
play
pain in my
field, so
shoulder
you should be
because I was
fine.
like
It'll
lift.
allow,
You know those like
matchup just to
I've been reading those
That's
Calvin and
concern
Hobbes
right there, because now you
collection
can see their
books. They're
Tetris
like
rates.
3
Remember
volumes. They're really big
the
and heavy,
big,
like super
giant
thick.
disparity of Tetris rates that I mentioned
So like
earlier.
I'd be like
they're
sitting on the floor with
basically
my daughter to
tying
read
Tetris
to her
rates
and
now.
reach over and grab it
40%
from a
to
distance and like
40%.
pick it up.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
pretty heavy, and like that
Tetris
was like I
again.
was
Is he
like,
gonna-
that kind of hurts my shoulder.
Is he
That's
gonna
weird.
keep that, or is he going to start burning?
I don't know if that's what
gotta
hurt my
burn. He's
shoulder to
kinda
begin
hungry
with,
for
or
it.
it's just.
Yeah,
Looks like
he
he really wants that.
But 18-piece drought,
Yeah.
19-piece drought. Oh no!
Oh, he
There
bailed.
it is.
Yeah.
That's how it always goes, man. Like I
And
said,
then there's had
That was like a
some
muscle
other
pain, so
trouble,
I went to the
that's
doctor, and he's like, "Oh, okay, well,
like
I can give you an
said,
injection
you're
if you
a
want."
Long-time Tetris player. All
I was
of
like,
us know
okay.
that pain all too well.
Yeah.
And he gave me an injection, and then
feels really like the game is
it didn't
mocking
help
you
at all, and then I
sometimes.
stopped kind of moving my arm, and like my shoulder froze up.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, nice
So I had to
talk.
go. I went back
Yeah.
again today,
Another tuck.
got another
He is
injection.
doing some good stuff
Alex
right
is
now.
in the mood for tucking.
So I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
from
know.
that
I'm
last
gonna call
injection,
him
like
Friar
I
Tuck
was like, I
from this
can't
point
move my
forward.
arm.
But here
fully
we go.
anymore.
Gonna burn over
Takes
there.
a triple.
So now everything
He's a little bit
hurts.
behind,
Makes
just by one
made it so
Tetris.
much worse.
And we're starting to approach
So I got to do all this
transition,
stuff.
so
Yeah, it was a
teams
steroid.
need to get their houses in order.
Uh-oh, that was kind of a weird drop by Alex right there, but he's going to be fine. He just needs something to drop there in column 2. Yeah, there we go. Gets the clean. And now going to try to burn and wait for this. I mean, I feel like Alex has been getting a lot of kind of unfortunate droughts.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, just those pieces having to cover up the well and then getting the long bar right after. It can be demoralizing.
But there is something called frozen shoulder.
Meanwhile, on Eli's side over there.
So that may be what's
has a nice
started happening to
He's
me.
getting Tetris ready, and the next one's going to put him at level 19.
Yeah, he's been maintaining.
Yeah,
that
Alex is
40%
like,
Tetris
he's
rate,
Mr.
and boom,
Focus.
there's the transition.
Low key, super low
And so
key.
you immediately see Eli kind of lowering his stack a little bit to play a little bit safer. Oops, accidentally rotated a piece a little too early there, it looked like.
Yeah, it's going to cause a little bit of
What was crazy is he said the treatment for
now. It's going to take a little
for
while
frozen
for him to
shoulder,
get
like they give you an
completely
injection,
clean
you
again.
do
That'll
stuff,
allow
but
Alex
like he was like,
to more than catch up, I think, because
the doctor's
he's
like,
still,
worst case,
Eli's still 10 lines ahead.
what they'll do is they'll
But look at this, Eli.
put you under
getting through
anesthesia
most of that
and
here.
then just literally take your shoulder, take your arm, and just yank your arm around to break your shoulder free while you're under anesthesia. He's like, I've never had to have someone do that before, but that is something you can do. I'm like, oh my god,
See
dude.
Eli remaining calm.
They
as
basically
he's
just
going
crack
through
your
this.
shoulder.
He has a 50,000, about 50,000 lead, but again,
I've been doing
15
physical
line
therapy,
lead,
yeah.
So technically, Alex is almost ahead in points.
Yeah, Alex is going to start.
And the physical therapies help,
catching up
like
as
the pain.
lines catch up.
So now, like when I wrecked
You like getting like
and slammed on the ground,
quick
like
succession
my shoulder
there.
only
Not able
hurt
to
for like a
cash in on
second.
any
Like
of
it
them, though.
normally that would have
feeling.
really hurt my shoulder,
You're
just
always
getting
hunting for
whacked
those-
like that.
Uh-oh, a missed drop by Alex, but just like that,
Just,
cleans it up.
Yep, cleans it up with a.
So the physical therapy is really helping the
Nicely
pain,
done.
but my range of motion still is really bad.
So Alex here gonna go for a little bit of a burn right there. The problem is that he needs to catch up in points. So the more he keeps burning, the more that.
And the problem is the only thing you
Eli's
can
gonna be
really
able
do to
pull
like
ahead, but actually they're both at 32% Tetris rate.
get
which
it
means that
loose
they're
is to like,
both
do all
pretty
these
much-
things
Yeah,
that
their
like
scoring
put all
potential is
this
about the same at this point.
Yeah, this is definitely
stress
looking
and
at
stretch
here.
on your arm muscles. So it's like
See,
it's made my
Alex trying
arm
to
muscles
play a
really
little
hurt
bit
because I'm
safe. There's
really stretching
long
them,
bar.
trying to get my shoulder
Yeah,
to stretch.
just trying to
Try to
clean
get
up.
the
kind of a
playfield
mess.
back into an ideal position.
Cascading
Might go
effect.
for a center well here. Let's see. No, he's going to burn it down.
It's too risky. Remember game number 1, that's how Alex lost. He was fishing for that piece. I mean, he's got a nice clean
we'll see.
setup, but Eli has a nice clean setup as well.
Yeah, both
but
players are keeping
My
it low,
mom's
so
husband
they're,
had frozen shoulder, and
they
he
know
was
the
like, "Oh, yeah, I got
position there,
an
and they
injection,
both
and it
have
made
to
it all
play.
better. It's great."
They have to survive to get the outcome they want.
oh man. And yeah,
like, wow,
neither of them
I would
going
like that.
crazy for
I would like to
Tetris.
feel
In
better.
fact,
Taking the triple there.
when I said that they were tied with Tetris rate, I don't think either of them have scored a Tetris since then. And so that's why their Tetris rates are exactly the same. But there's a Tetris for Eli. That is huge.
My
And
opinion was that
Alex just did an
the
awesome,
injection messed
spin
me up.
there.
Yeah.
Some really great.
He didn't seem to
piece
agree.
movement
He
performance
was like,
from
"I've never
Alex.
had that happen before."
But the question is now, how aggressive does Alex have to play?
He's like, "But I didn't give you."
Because
He had
he's
two
at
choices
line,
of where to give me the
200
injection, and he
right
just thinks he
now.
gave it to me in
And,
a
you're going to run
and
out of
it's something
time.
that
The kill
wasn't helpful
screen's
for
coming
this.
up.
So
Screen comes at level 29. So
now I got one in another
it's gonna
place.
be. But Alex just I don't know why he bailed on that. He could still. Clean.
Alex,
I
no!
think he lost DAS.
Yeah, well, he was trying to get that T piece all the way over there. He
R.I.P.
missed
Alex.
it. He was 1 too short of getting it all the way to the side. Like you said, might have lost Daz. And there you go. Eli is going to advance forward in the tournament. As we mentioned before,
I'm gonna have to get an MRI too, so
seed Quaid, but
we'll know
was
all
not
the
able to
truth soon
keep up
enough.
that pace.
And one of the very few.
Hopefully
former
this in a couple
finalists to ever
days
have,
this will help my
come
shoulder.
in, have a second place standing against.
I'm very
Jonas
sore,
in
yeah.
the finals. So yeah,
But he just did
Alex,
it a
one of
few
the best
hours
of our
ago,
game,
so
falling to Eli.
But on the plus side, my shoulder already
The left side of the
hurts,
bracket
so
comes
it's
down
like,
to
you know,
two players,
doesn't feel that much
Elijah
different.
Markstrom versus Harry Hong. If Elijah wins, it will be his first time in the finals. If Harry wins, it will be his third.
Yeah, one of the most annoying things is just trying to sleep on it. Like, 'cause I sleep on my stomach or sleep on my side. It's like that's finally getting better. So.
So while we wait for our tech to become set up, I'm going to give our competitors a quick interview. So I know Harry's in the middle of it and he's got his headphones on. I don't know if you can hear me now. Oh, okay. We're going to interview you. You can keep practicing if you can handle it. So what are your thoughts coming into this Tetris World Championships for the 5th year?
Great. Crazy last match.
So how do you feel about last year? If last year had been run under 2010 rules, you would have actually won.
I like to sleep on my stomach, and it's really hard when you hurt your shoulder because you have to like bend your arm like behind you a little bit, and it puts a lot of pressure on your shoulder. I never really would have thought that before, but now I know. I can't sleep on my back. Like I can't fall asleep on my back.
Looking forward to seeing your performance soon, and
but I definitely roll around.
when the time comes again, we'll. But,
I feel like if you sleep on your side, you always turn back and forth all night. Yeah.
Making that score with like pretty
I'm
much
always rolling. I'm just roll constantly.
What were you? Were you aware that 29 was closing in on you just now?
Yeah, like at 200 lines, that's when I finally like cleaned up everything, and I noticed I was like 100K below, and yeah, I knew how to Tetris, to beat him. So
cool. Good read, right? Yeah, good read. Yeah. I was aware of it too, and
we need more. We need more Jonas.
That was one of the most exciting. If we have like a top moments of Tetris history, that's going to be one of them. All right, Eli, we've seen you here before.
It also depends where the cats are sleeping. Once the cats are involved, I have to let the cats be
I
comfortable.
I haven't been playing Tetris, so I was not really expecting to get this far. But I'm having a good time, and I'm excited to be in the Final Four.
All right, welcome to the Final Four. We're going to see your performance soon.
So here we go. Eli versus Harry, round 1.
So obviously this is going to be a clash.
You have to a little bit purple because if you're tall, my feet hang off the bed, and so I got to keep them like.
Don't forget, just came off of.
Can't keep them under the blankets very easily.
Crazy, the buzzer beater against Bo.
No, I haven't seen Dexter in months.
The kill screen coming.
So I assume he's still with that lady.
And Harry making that
living the life with her.
That made all the difference.
She hasn't posted about him lately.
And, also the pressing down, giving him the 2,000 points that he needed to go ahead. Although he's actually stated that
even that other stray cat I've only seen on my security cam a couple times over the last few months.
He gets to level.
But otherwise, the cats are good.
Right now, he'll still.
We learned a valuable lesson about
that's what he's comfortable with.
Brushing a long-haired cat.
He just enjoys. He likes the pacing.
Birdie got like really matted hair, like I said, between her front and back legs, and so we had to bring her to the vet and get shaved because it was just too matted. We couldn't get it free.
Both players right now. Well, Harry's starting off with a little bit of cleaning, a couple of Tetrises already now.
Big drought to start with, though.
Ooh, you're right. 23, 26. Oh my. Yeah, at this point in time, okay, there it is.
Boom, Tetris for Harry.
And I brought her in.
Position to score again.
They had her for like
if you can survive
10 minutes.
Like that's usually a really good.
Brought her back. I brought her home.
And Eli
and my other cat growled at her for like 24 hours.
So, coming in with just one Tetris.
Her sense of smell is way too good, so she just smelled the other cats, I guess.
Eli. He's at 62%, and again another drought for Harry, but managed just to stave that off. And look at this, great RNG for Harry there, just to fill out exactly what he needed in the.
Like, what are you doing? You know her. You know her.
Yeah, 51% to 56%.
Why are you growling?
54% now.
Eli's building some dependencies. He's going to need a long bar and
some
L's and J's to clear that.
My wife and kids.
Got exactly that.
Yeah. My wife still looks at the Humane Society page.
He's got himself set up.
And they even went. They went today. They went to the Humane Society. They still go to the Humane Society and play with the cats.
Is he going for it again? Oh, okay. I almost thought he was going to try
the triple,
to go for
right?
Yeah.
He's going to burn back down now. Yeah,
and I have to fight it because I love cats. I would have even more cats, but I'm like, no, you can't do.
Be near the bottom.
We can't get more cats
to score.
I have to close my eyes and stick my fingers in my ears.
It's taking the lead up.
Because I love cats.
And he's Tetris ready again.
They make it so hard on me.
But again, another drought.
But it's so hard already. Like we went out of
It's a
town,
couple
like
of
getting
big
somebody to
droughts
watch
for
the
Harry,
cats. It's a
so,
big pain.
Yeah, he's been doing well to navigate those droughts and survive.
It's like
the
you want
score,
to.
and there it is. Boom,
If you have
Tetris for
cats,
Harry,
you want to travel. It
extending
makes
his
it kind of
lead now
tough.
to almost 60,000 points.
Yeah, very important to be able to survive those.
Well, I mean, at the same time, if you have 2 cats, what's wrong with 3 cats,
And
right?
boom, Tetris for Eli. So this is a very close match here. Both players super competitive and aggressive.
Well, we've gotten 2 cats already in the last calendar year, so I think we need to slow down.
Definitely
Slow
in
down.
the lead. And again, whoever wins this match will get into grand finals here. So Harry right now trying to do back-to-back. And, you know, after that crazy win he had against Bo, I don't know, maybe if you're Harry, you almost feel like you're destined to get back there.
Yeah, you definitely have to earn it, though. And, yeah, he's playing some of the best Tetris we've seen. Ooh, he's playing high.
Yeah.
Held out for that long bar. He's playing super aggressive right now.
Yeah, this is
Careful,
ultra
Harry.
aggressive. He's going to be able to clean a little bit here, but he needs to get a little bit more going.
And yeah, now he's in burn mode now. Digging back down, taking a triple.
Yeah, getting the pieces that he needs.
Yeah,
for the
dogs
burn,
just
but
take.
again,
I mean, dogs are just
didn't
constant.
Really hurt his Tetris rate too much.
Yeah,
He had
not
built
I
it
couldn't
up-
handle
he had
that.
built it up high
No,
enough,
thank you.
And so he's still at 55%.
Right, it was just that one triple and not a whole lot of singles. So he's still in good shape here. Eli now with a little bit of cleaning to do. He's developing some holes and dependencies. He's probably looking for a tuck there, and I think he's going to build on top.
There you go.
And
Yeah.
get a slightly dirty Tetris there. If it gives him the long dart bar, and there it is. Boom, Tetris for Eli.
Nicely done. 42% Tetris rate now, but behind by
I did, yeah.
100,000 points, though, you know, 4 lines ahead.
I always
is
loved
Harry.
cats. I didn't get a cat until I was.
Again, because he's been pressing down.
It seems, yeah, both these players seem to be
Well, I
pressing
guess
down on
I was
level
probably only
18.
5 or 6. So
They're not too far ahead or behind each other on lines.
Boy.
Yeah, Eli really getting that, building that pile high over on the left. But sometimes you got to do it. I mean, you got to dump those pieces somewhere sometimes when you want to hold out for that long bar.
Yeah, worked out for
I got a
him.
cat when I was
At
little,
this point in time,
and then
he's just
she
waiting for that
had
next
kittens
bar.
in my bed
And yeah, the drought has begun.
when I
See
was
if we
like,
can-
I must have been like 7 years
Droughts
old.
always seem to come right at the least opportune moment.
yeah, some dependencies. He got
Oh.
T-spin that. Oh, he misses the
missed it. He missed
T-spin.
it.
And we
Saw the
kept
little head
we
shake
kept one of the
from
kittens.
Eli.
Yeah, he went for it, but yeah, if you miss
And
the
then we went on a
T-spin, it
trip.
develops a hole and it makes it a little harder to clear out.
And
Yeah, and he's having some trouble here.
we came
because,
back.
again,
The guy
this
who'd
is
been
a
watching the
little-
house is like,
this is a
it's like, yeah, the cat's missing.
Yeah.
I don't know where she is. And then we found she had been hit by a car, probably.
Festered into.
So she died while I was gone, which is really
that's what
sad.
happens if you
But we
become
had
too
her
competitive
kitten.
and don't allow your play field enough room for
And
accommodation.
then
of
one
other
day,
pieces.
Yeah,
her
right there was a
like
perfect
she wasn't even that
example.
old.
Purpose
She's
can
probably
say,
it's
you know,
only
that you
been a
wanna
year or two
transition
or two
cleanly
old.
because the change in speed
She
can
like
catch you off guard as
something
much as
happened
you're
to her, and she
expecting
just
it.
like
But if the
like
field is too high,
Yeah, he was
something
well
switched in her
beyond
brain.
the,
She was like,
height
I
of
just heard my
safety
mom
going to level
screaming,
19 there. So we'll see if Eli can just.
and she was like really mad, like
try to
just
get a
like
better
hissing,
transition
like
this
really
time
mad, and like
because,
chasing
you know,
my
it's
mom.
literally impossible to move the
And,
pieces that far, that fast with the
She
pile that
bit
high.
my mom's finger, and she
All
bit
right.
like all the way through her
Both of them
pinky.
starting with a really,
Like she
really
bit
nice
through
play
her
field.
fingernail and
Yeah.
everything.
Harry totally clean, just
And
first line clears.
Like I ran back in the room with my mom, and like the cat went in there. My mom locked her in there, and we had to call.
Back-to-back Tetrises.
I guess we called animal control
All right,
to get her
finally
because she
gets
was
a couple
so
of burns in there. So he's
flipped out.
ready again, but that's just here's this mini drought that he's running.
And so they
into
held on to
again.
her.
Yeah, I mean Harry.
They brought her
performed
to.
really
I think
well
they must have
despite
brought her
the
to the
drought in
vet,
the
but
last
they
couple
held on
rounds.
to her for a few days, and they were like, "Yeah, she's."
Yeah, and there we go.
Some days she's totally fine, and then other days
89%
she's
Tetris
like,
rate,
"You have
but
to wear gloves
obviously
because she's
still
trying to
early on.
attack
very,
you."
very early.
And so they
But it's just nice to see
speculated
those
that she had a
really
brain
high
tumor
percentage.
that was
Right.
affecting her behavior.
because that means, you know,
And they're like, we can't
optimizing
really confirm or
even
deny
at the
if she
start of the
does
round, like just making every line
without
clear
putting her to
a
sleep.
Tetris.
So there's really no
86%,
other
you don't
option.
see
So they
that
had to
too
put her to
often,
sleep.
Yeah,
even this
versus
early on.
versus a 64% Tetris rate, now 59, but essentially that means both players are on max out pace. Eli just barely though.
Yeah, he's gonna start.
So after that,
bringing it back towards more Tetrises as his
no more
playfield gets
cats.
cleaned up. Yeah, he's setting up some tucks.
My
and some tucks
mom
are
got
good,
remarried, and my
but, you don't wanna
stepfather
become
had a
too
cat,
dependent
so
on them.
we had that
he has
cat, I
himself set
guess,
up a
but
dirty
wasn't
Tetris.
my cat.
Column 8, and he keeps getting those little burns there. But where is the eyepiece?
Yeah, he's gonna take a triple there
man.
just to keep
And
it
then
a little
finally,
safer.
like-
I think he bailed on that.
Yeah,
not playing.
that was
After I
probably a
graduated
smart
college, I
idea,
moved with my
too,
mom to
because
Connecticut, and
Dave
she
was
had a change of
definitely
heart and
not
said I could
being
get a
kind
cat.
to him.
Right, he's dialing back the aggression. He needs to win this round to stay in the match.
And that was Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson was awesome. That was my 20-pound cat.
Wants them to.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even making difficult bets here. I mean, there's several pieces. If he gets a T, usually he'll solve something like that, and he wasn't getting those either. And boom, Tetris for Eli. Finally
It was
getting
funny
his
'cause my
playfield
mom
back into a
caved.
manageable position.
Yeah, and then he's
well
gonna-
back on the right, and starting to get cleaned up.
Caved on me getting a cat.
Meanwhile, Harry
And then,
over
like,
still at a
almost
70
immediately after I got the
Tetris
cat, she started
rate.
dating
Playing
her now
super clean,
husband,
super
who's
aggressive,
deathly allergic
and,
to cats.
Good Tetris.
So it was a huge, problem.
Harry.
95.
As long as I lived there with that cat.
Lead at this point.
I moved out not too long after that, though, so it wasn't that bad. But
And yeah, just right back to a clean play field. This could be a killer score from Harry. Boom, Tetris for Harry. Over 120,000 point lead now.
With about a 5-line lead, but still, that's only a 1 Tetris difference in terms of number of lines.
yeah, it was a bummer.
That point lead,
especially because it was like that was my other cat's
pretty
kitten, right?
accurate,
So it was like
true.
that was my connection to my previous cat. So
Yeah, and Eli's playfield still looking good. So, he's got a bit of a mountain to climb, but it's not insurmountable yet.
and you didn't even really get to say goodbye to the cat either. It's just
It's
like
like a
on the
perfect
right side,
staircase.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't see that too often.
Yeah, it's because you don't want
You
it.
don't want it to be like that.
Yeah. If you
And,
ever find yourself building up a perfect
I used to
know
that
you are
cat
not
I used to fly
playing
with,
optimal
like
Tetris.
when I'd go
Yeah,
back to
he does
visit
a
my
triple
dad.
into a Tetris.
I'd take the cat with me.
Kind of hurt his Tetris rate just a bit because you're burning 3 lines. And Harry gives up the ghost. I think he might have
Harry?
lost ass or something, but I guess he felt he built up too high and just kind of stopped. But yeah, Eli still got a little bit of a chase down to do here. 85,000 points to make. So I don't know. At this level, he could just line it out if he wanted to.
And the hard part about it right now, he's not getting exactly the perfect pieces, but actually now he's gotten the clear out over here. If he could figure out a way to get this Tetris, but again, look at this, too many O pieces. Again, that's one of the reasons why you don't like the staircases, because it makes
With
the
James
O piece
Chen,
have absolutely no home.
I say
to
take a
go
drink every
into.
time he says something
And you
about
got a
being
bunch of 'em where the O
over
can
here
only fit
or over
one
there.
spot.
And he's clean.
He's clean, but still not.
He's got these
Tetris ready
mannerisms
yet.
he always
There we
falls
go,
back to.
Tetris ready.
Got
Okay,
that
but the
piece over
crouch
there.
Okay, you got through it. Boom, Tetris for Eli.
Needs 2 more Tetrises.
He's going to go for that tuck. Keeps it in. Keeps it clean. Building back up. Ooh.
Yeah, again.
Not the best placement there.
Oh, I like that,
nice
actually.
roof.
Yeah,
the
that
T-roof
was
there.
beautiful,
Nice.
clean right there. And there's that the Tetris exhale I saw.
The
right
side
there
chew.
from Eli. As soon as he got that, you just feel the sense
Yeah.
of calm come over
But
you.
now, yeah, you can tell he's just playing safe and getting lines, making sure he survives. He's still 9 lines from transition. And
It
he only
probably
needs a
is, yeah.
Tetris and a little bit of change to get the score he needs. So this should be.
Why didn't that come up in the
fairly
interview?
textbook here. Yeah, now he's just looking for that Tetris. There it is. Boom, Tetris for Eli. Oh,
All
he's still got 10,000 to go.
Transition, but very clean transition.
Ooh.
Oh no! Oh my goodness! Oh
Yeah.
my! No!
No, no. Oh, it's over.
He's not able
It's
to get a
over.
piece over the left. Oh my goodness.
And now this time,
Eli topping out early.
Harry
At the
Choke.
transition.
What a choke.
Last time he was the one who had to play catch up and barely did it by 2,000 points. And this time, his opponent had the opportunity to try to make the catch up to him.
Tetris Terry coming in.
Only like 8,000.
Harry back to the
And the
finals.
thing is, Eli was playing safe for so long. He wasn't playing aggressive. And then the transition happened and it just spiraled out of control. Just a couple of misdrops was all it took.
Yeah, again, as you mentioned, he might have lost Daz, and that spirals so fast when you lose Daz. And Harry is in grand finals back-to-back years now.
Oh, he's
And
definitely
we
going to
will
say
find
it,
out
Nick.
soon.
Could be
Yeah.
his year of redemption.
Yeah, we'll
Harry's
find-
got the momentum now. He's survived a couple of really tough rounds. And
Well, at this time,
doing the
Purple,
buzzer beater, and now surviving
this tournament was in 2014. A lot of these guys didn't even play
Harry just
at all
might
until
have all
like
kind of
right
side
before the
this time.
tournament.
We'll find out.
Like
who
they were
he's
just
gonna
good at
be going
Tetris and they
up
didn't
against
barely
very
practice or
soon.
anything. Like even Jonas, he was talking about how he
My biggest enemy.
wouldn't play for 11 months. He only played the month before the
To your
tournament.
own success for tomorrow.
Me, myself.
Nowadays, yeah, they play all the
I
time.
feel like if I go out
I mean,
there
they're
and
still
play my best game,
students and whatever else, but
so it's really hard to
they play every day.
bring that when we've got the spotlight.
Nobody's
Everyone's staring at
Nobody's ever a professional Tetris player except for Jonas, but this was after this. Like when Jonas did full-time streaming.
Weird phenomenon in Tetris.
And
where
even
you
then, he didn't
are
always play
Suddenly
Tetris.
kind of watching yourself not be yourself, where you're letting the piece tell you what to do.
But Jonas
based
didn't do
on
that until like
your
2017,
thousands of hours
2018
of
is when he went
experience.
full-time streaming.
And if you start trying to exert any real control over the action,
He was the first.
beyond just asking that piece, tell me where to put you. If you're in any other state of mind, it'll start to go off, and then you start watching yourself not.
I mean, it's
making the
just a
moves you know you're
natural-
supposed to make, and then it's like you've stepped
A natural
out of the zone
evolution.
and
It's like
over for you.
if nobody else is practicing either, then all you have to be is just a little bit better than them.
To public speaking. So if you're really
But if they're
nervous,
practicing a
you
lot,
want
then you got to
to
practice more. So
speak
it's
as
like it
fast
just
as
hadn't
possible when
escalated yet.
you're speaking to an audience, and I noticed that a lot of players did that as well, where they played nervous. And when you play nervous, you want to play in your comfort zone, which is as fast as possible, like you do, in your basement when you're practicing at home. I've learned that if you play slow, you actually have a time to take a breath, and you play a lot more relaxed. And so that was kind of one of my early advantages, I think, in the first few years.
Here's the problem. I play in my basement. I videotape myself under no duress whatsoever. There have been people that have outperformed me at the Tetris Championship. I went last year and performed for the first time and kind of my nerves just destroyed me. But there are people that do that every year consistently. And adrenaline courses through your body immediately, and that's the thing that makes you unable to play Tetris. Twitching, shaking, it's the thing that will make you push the D-pad too fast and misdrop. It'll make you not be able to think, right? Adrenaline, it's a fight or flight kind of response, and that makes you not think, it makes you do.
Misdrops usually are a function of nerves, and so I want to say, and I hope I have achieved that kind of level of play where you take most of the nerves out of it, and then it just becomes executing game plan.
Yeah, I don't know what's crazy. It's like this was in 2014, so it's 10 years ago, but the quality is great.
With Harry Hong in the
They shot it in
finals, there's
HD
just
and everything.
one match left to decide who will face him.
Like we're
Jonas
in the
Neubauer versus Terry Purcell.
we're in a world
If
now
Jonas
where
wins,
old
it will be his
footage
fifth
is in
time the
HD.
finals. If Terry wins, it will be his first.
Please welcome back to the stage, Terry Purcell, Portland native, and Jonas Neubauer.
Jonas!
Defending four-time Tetris World Champion.
Let's go, Jonas!
So this is a 2 seed versus a 3 seed. Very close. Jonas being the 2 seed. And Terry, our first time in the finals here at our Tetris World Championships, performing very well with the 3 seed.
The fact that he plays with his headphones on makes me think that he must also play with the music on, which is also crazy. Nobody plays with the music. So he's listening to Tetris music. Some people today think they play with their own headphones on. They're listening to music or whatever, but like he's plugged into the TV, so he's listening to the Tetris music every time he plays. That's so crazy.
Terry, I'm going to be interviewing you now, so hopefully you can hear me. Okay, great. Okay, so you recently maxed out. That's a huge gaming achievement. How much time were you spending practicing to get your max out, and how do you feel about doing it?
I think it's more about time spent for me than skill. I probably spent like, my girlfriend may disagree, but I think it's about probably 2 hours a day playing Tetris.
And 2 hours a day, okay. Well, someday I hope to max out too, so I'll try to keep up the Terry Purcell 2 hours a day regimen. Excellent. Congratulations again on making it to the Tetris World Championship semifinals for the first time and for your max out. All right, Jonas.
It's already a big change here. Like
4 years in a row
in
now.
the audience, all these
Are you ready
guys
to
have
take your
like
fifth year, or are we gonna see
beautiful
something different?
girlfriends. Now it's like everybody's so young. It's like they're all single.
Excellent. We're gonna see something different, and we're gonna see possibly Jonas taking it for the 5th year. We shall see. You never know with this guy. He'll surprise you. Especially the drama last year.
And there's women in this tournament that,
Okay, so we've got cash prizes.
middle-aged
this
women.
year. Our 3rd and 4th place winners win $250. Cold hard cash for being a Tetris World Champion.
Yeah, now it's
Second
all
place gets
parents,
$500,
pretty much.
And I believe a trophy as well, right?
It's like all
A
parents.
silver trophy for 2nd place. And our grand prize winner gets $1,000 and the gold Tetris trophy. It pays to be a great Tetris
I want
player.
to say yes, but I can't think of any. I mean, some of these older guys who are still around
Here we
surely
are,
have
getting
kids,
down
but
to the semifinals, finding out who's going to be going.
They don't
up
talk
against
about it,
Harry
so I don't
Hong
know.
in the grand finals. Jonas versus Terry.
Yeah, this is an exciting one here. Obviously, Jonas, the 4-time champion, Mr. Invincible here for Tetris.
I got to use the bathroom. I'm not going to pause because I know Jonas is going to crush it.
Practicing so much. You talked about his meteoric rise.
Yes, just his rise, just going from 30th place in 2012, then 2013, all the way to 19th. What an improvement! Now is in 3rd seed, heavily favored to do well, but has to go up against the 4-time world champion Jonas if he wants a chance at the grand finals versus Harry.
And it's such a great story too, because the first year he showed up, he just showed up and played, and didn't realize the level of skill that Tetris could get to, and so that's why he practiced so hard this year, because that first year he was caught off guard, and now he wants to. At one point in time, he said he might be the best player. Well, he's going up against the best now. So
Right, but with that, not familiarity with the game and not knowledge of the best practices, he qualified with a level 19 start, and people don't do that. That's inhuman. Like, that's actually low key. That's really skilled. So just learning the best practices and him getting up to speed with all the latest info.
And look
Jonas!
what
What he can do now. Yeah. That was a
7
big dirty Tetris there too by Terry.
Yes, a 3rd seed. I'm sorry, 3rd seed going up against 2nd seed Jonas. Remember, 1st seed was Quaid, who was taken out by Alex earlier. But again, this is a big one right here. And as you mentioned, we're going to find out who goes up against Harry after this.
Yeah, we're already seeing a lot of action here. Terry knocking down a couple of Tetrises, and now Jonas having to do some burns, getting back into Tetris-ready position, almost with a couple more pieces.
Yeah, just a little bit of a messy field here for Terry. Got to figure out how to get through here. Might be setting. Okay, I thought.
Sounds like she's lost her boyfriend to Popeye.
One of the things to talk about Terry, he talks about this a lot, which is his nerves. He's wearing the headphones right now because he's trying to block out all the noise, because he wants to just focus on the game and not let anything distract him. So, again, he said like the first year that he came and played, the nerves just hit him so hard. And so let's see if he can overcome them. And this is, if you're going to get nervous, this is going to be the time where it's going to hit you the most.
Yeah, this is for, semifinals, and to get the grand finals, you got to get past the 4-time world champion. Yeah, that's a tough thing to deal with, no matter how good you are.
Even someone like Harry, I got to imagine, who's already faced Jonas twice in grand finals. If he has to face Jonas again, he'll probably be nervous. Heck, if he has to face Terry, he'd probably be super nervous as well.
So yeah, as we're approaching the 50-60 line mark, And Jonas has regained the lead now. He's got a 3 Tetris lead over Terry, and both playfields are pretty good. So
Yeah, but again, one of the key things here is that Terry is still pressing down, at level 18. So you can see he's actually 10 lines ahead of Jonas. And Jonas, it's really interesting. He has a stern expression, but there's a sense of calm.
Terry looks so
in
much like my
Jonas's
friend.
body
It's kind of,
language,
it's
whereas you can
freaking me
see
out.
Terry leaning forward like this, pressing down, kind of increasing the pace. You can almost feel the nerves in Terry during this match.
right, and yeah, Jonas a little bit less aggressive.
Oh,
but he's
I'm
still
sorry to hear that,
banging down
Purple.
Tetrises, and Terry's being a
Dude,
lot more
even
aggressive with his
thinking
play,
about
trying
to get a
Tetrises,
job
as much as possible. And if he gets into trouble, then he has to go through a dig phase.
stresses me out so much.
in order to get back up. But Jonas not having that much of a problem. He's just taking the burns as they come.
That's probably why I've been at the same company for 18 years, because it's like I don't even want to think about it.
You mentioned,
I don't even want to consider having to do a job
calm
hunt.
and then shift on the aggression if he needs it.
Yeah.
And he's at a 60% Tetris rate right now, so he probably knows he's doing well and can probably just play pretty conservatively right now.
Yeah,
I think
I
this is
feel like my
Jonas
job's
at peak
pretty like a
Jonas,
pretty
where he's
safe
just
job, but like I still get
relaxed
nervous about
and,
it. It's just like,
making
man, that would be
Tetrises and
so
building effectively. You're not seeing
upending.
any big digs. He's
Especially my wife
clearing
doesn't
and
really work,
not
so it's like
exactly building on top of the mistakes.
It
but
would be a
clearing them
problem.
As
It would be a
efficiently
problem.
as he can.
And Terry right now finally getting himself.
Oh yeah,
Tetris
it's
ready
it's a
just in
tough
time for
it's
the
tough
long
right
bar.
now.
Boom.
It's always tough for
Tetris
tech startups,
Terry.
but it's really
And
tough right
he's
now.
at 44% Tetris rate. But I definitely sense some second guessing in the way that he's been playing the pieces. Like he's almost struggling with himself, trying to decide whether he wants to play aggressive or conservatively.
Yeah, like you're seeing a big dig now, and he's gonna. Okay, he cleared it pretty fast that time. The scores are neck and neck, but because Terry's 20 lines ahead, his actual score potential is somewhat less than the scores may currently reflect.
And again, Jonas just kind of calmly doing his thing right now with a 63% Tetris rate. And like I said, I don't know.
Yeah, you guys are
I
like
can't describe
next
what
door
it is
neighbors
about Jonas,
practically.
But when you watch him play Tetris, the places that he puts the pieces and everything, there's just a sense of calm to him.
Speaking
like I
of
said,
which,
I
I
can't
might
explain it.
Terry with a
I might be
few,
coming
holes
to
he's gotta clear. He's actually in a bit of trouble. He wants to be lower than this. He wants
Boston.
to,
Yeah,
to
he
get
should be
clear.
able to dig through there if he can.
In
get,
October.
Oh, no.
He's shaking his head because it's a high thing.
Want to hang out?
Can he get it over there? No, he's not
Needs
even
to
going to
do
try
another
yet.
burn. Okay, he got the right thing.
I don't really want to stay with the family, if you know what I mean.
Smart done by him. Oh no!
At the
It's tough. If
in-laws.
he gets the right combination, it might work out.
Right.
He gets it. Can he get the long bar? No, he's not going to go for it. He's going to go for an L.
Okay, yeah, he's playing it really smart right now. Look at this. He's managed to dig most of the way out. In fact, I think he's good. He just needs an eyepiece to drop in there.
Yeah, just something to. He got it. Triple.
There, look at this. What a dig by Terry.
Amazing dig by Terry. And with that, Jonas finally transitioned. So, yeah, Terry ahead on line.
One of my best friends
his score potential has gone way
from
down.
college
Jonas
was
is way in the lead
living in
now.
Boston, so I'd always go hang out with him and get away from everything. And
Ooh, that's going to be hard to get a bar over. I don't think he's going to be able to burn anything to get it down.
I don't think that. I think that's it right there. And
but he moved
with
away
that
from there, so
earlier dig
now I got
that
nowhere
we
I can go
saw,
to.
And look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he knows
Terry.
he's out, but the fact that he's
Terry.
still trying is.
Yeah. So yeah, Terry tops out, but yeah, he had such a valiant dig.
Oh, you're all the way over there.
just
Oh man,
not
you're
enough
far,
to,
Purple. You're
survive
far.
Second.
You're
And look
closer
at
to
Jonas.
Nick.
I mean, it looks like he's just. It's another day at work, and Terry with this smile, you can kind of see the little bit of the.
I'd be up
I
like
think Terry knows he
North
played
Shore
well there, 'cause
area,
that was a
like
dig.
super
I mean,
far
you
north.
survive, that sort of thing, and such a smart.
So I'd
play.
probably be pretty
He
far
knew
away.
What he needed to do to be able to burn on the left side, or to burn on the right side, to bring the left down, so you'd be able to put more pieces over on the left. So intelligent plays by Terry.
Oh, I have to
Not
look
enough
up
to
where that
survive,
is
but
exactly.
very impressive in that he was able to last that long.
Yeah, you got to imagine against so many other players that would have been good enough to take it. But right now, you saw.
Oh, it's
right
like
after
south.
that
Okay.
match, Jonas leaning in for the handshake, saying, "Good game." Calm as a cucumber.
Yeah. Yeah. Although, if you talk to him later, you'll definitely say that it was something you had to earn. That was a tough match.
But it almost feels like Jonas could be like a commercial for a deodorant right now. I mean, he's probably dry, not a single bead of sweat anywhere. Oh, man. But here we go. Terry right now. Yeah. Unfortunate pieces right there. Gonna. And again.
Couple misdrops. Yeah.
An hour and 11 minutes away from where we would be.
Out of here. It's just, can he battle the nerves right now? Because I feel like that's. He even said so himself. His worst enemy is himself. Is those nerves that he has.
Well, I won't have anywhere to host you, though.
See if he can actually get out
I'd rather
of this
come to you.
situation here. I mean, Jonas is not in a great situation himself.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not all the way to the North Shore, luckily. Like the real North Shore is like Newburyport.
Has, I think, feels like probably
it'd be closer to Haverhill.
You know, just know he's been here before. Calmly get through there, and again, this
like
is
basically,
why
you know, just
he is the 4-time champion.
Go all the way around 495.
Jonas definitely has a strategy where
for
he's
over
like,
an hour.
If he can make 500,000 or 600,000
it's far.
points,
it's far.
he doesn't really have to turn on the gas.
Especially if I'm only there for a couple days, so maybe too far. We'd have to meet in between or something.
As Tetris players ourselves,
which we could do, but if we meet in between, we're not going to kill enough time. So that's another problem.
Have thought of, and it just is genius. It's just, man, it's impressive.
Yep, and
it's not decided yet, but it would be in
kind of a
beginning of October.
Yeah, now he can go for.
There's kind of a dependency there. He needs something that's too wide to fill at the right, and then he has to build at the left. Okay, so
Terry!
The way he wanted to, and he second guessed himself there.
Yeah,
but it was great when
not a good situation here.
My friend lived up there because I could just go up there and then just hang out with him the whole time.
Again, a last second shift, I think, just from a little bit of nervous play. And look at this.
Looks like he can try to build a
because my wife
there, and he's going to go for
she really doesn't care if I come or not more. So she likes to have me there for like help with the travel portion. But once we're there, she doesn't need me anymore.
Score, but he's still up dangerous.
I can get lost.
He's going to dig back down to get safe again.
Yeah, but again, the pieces, the RNG right now is not doing him well. Actually, now he's clearing through. This is important here, but again, has another eyepiece dependency. Let's see how he handles this. He can drop the T in there.
Yeah, he's just going to settle for the T. Oh, he's a little bit aggressive. I think he's still wanting to make a Tetris up there, even though it's probably not the best idea. But
we'll see.
He wants to score, and he does. Boom, Tetris for Terry. Very nice, dirty Tetris there.
Pays off for him.
Yeah, and he's setting up the tuck, so he's still playing aggressive.
Yeah.
Takes the triple there.
Okay. How is he going to handle this now? He's got himself an awkward situation. He could get another dirty Tetris.
Come on, Clash.
Center well, dirty Tetris for Terry. You see some sigh of relief there. He knows that that helps.
It would be like literally the first weekend in October.
Immediately followed by a miss drop. So he's
when's
back
Kong
to
Clash?
burning and
Kong
back to trying to clear
Clash.
through here. He can't get his playfield all the way down.
Yeah, he's doing dirty Tetrises. So this is aggressive play here.
Ooh, 6th and 7th.
Burning down. He's actually still trying to score with all that garbage on the bottom.
Oh, he's still going for it.
Yeah, oh, he's
YOLO.
No. Oh, no,
gotta get it over there. Yeah, okay. He can still
Yeah,
do
if
this.
you go up that weekend before.
Do this. He just needs an eyepiece. There it is.
I can't. It's their spring break, so it has to be that weekend, unfortunately.
We haven't even been
talking about Jonas, who's just been playing.
I'm out. I don't want to come anymore.
Look at this. He's just got
I thought maybe there could be a silver lining.
He's up by 50,000 points, being down 10 lines.
We should go to Kong Clash instead.
Tetris rate. He's looking clean over there.
Yeah, but hey, Terry's dig is starting to
pay off.
Yeah, he's getting clean again. Not too many dependencies. He can get through this.
Yeah. Oh.
I got stranded in Arkansas when I was a teenager.
Yeah, he's forced to
Fort Smith.
Cover his hole, and then he's in dig again.
Oh man, again. Oh, actually, he's gonna get a triple off of that. That's not bad.
Yeah, he's almost.
Okay, finally got to that column 9. Yeah, finally got to that column 9. But see, he has to.
Like how it says Kong Clash, but it doesn't say where it is.
Nice micro adjustment at the last second, right there. Beautiful job.
Okay.
Special thanks to Wes. It's right on the front page.
Here it is.
Yep.
And Terry's now on level 19. Speed's increased. He needs to get safe again as soon as possible.
Oh, he's still doing a great job here. Oh, no. Yeah, you don't want to build that tower up too high.
Am I crazy or it doesn't say where the heck it is?
It's Kong Clash. Back down to get safe again.
Okay. Oh, he's right there, but now he needs something to drop. Yeah, perfect. Meanwhile, like I said, Jonas,
Like, it literally
just the
doesn't say where it
absolute
is.
cleanest play field, just kind of moseying
Big dependency on the
along.
right. He gets it over and finally
Should
starting
put where
to
it
get
is on the webpage,
within
Wes.
range of the bottom.
You know, I mean, look, if he can get this all
I
the
see
way
it, purple.
down, I mean, he
Oh.
deserves an award for that. But
Yeah, just a mess starting to develop. He wasn't able to clear it down to the bottom, and I think he's
I
just starting to
think that's it.
mentally give up here because, yeah, he's got so many dependencies below that. It's so insurmountable.
Sherwood,
And
Arkansas.
he's just going to give up the ghost there, and that is just a heartbreaker.
Yeah,
because
it mentions the
after
arcade
all that
name, but it doesn't
digging,
say like where,
Jonas
what state it's
comes
in or
away
anything.
with the second round and wins the match.
yeah, and at that point in time, honestly, that match was only Terry versus Terry.
Just outside of
And
Little
Jonas
Rock,
was
huh?
Just doing his thing. Look, he has
Yeah,
190,000.
Jonas was coasting and just
yeah.
playing very casually and amounted that lead.
Jonas is too good.
taking very many
We knew that was
risks.
going to happen.
And Terry was fighting for his life every step of the way. And what a dig. What a great dig and an exhibition of skills to be able to survive that. But yeah, it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, and again, apologies to Jonas that we, weren't talking much about his gameplay, but he was just doing his thing. And honestly, you could see the way Terry was playing. There was so much nervousness in his play, in the gameplay itself.
Now, what are we going to do? We're down to the last episode. It's Jonas
Coming all
versus
the way in here, tying for third place.
Harry.
What a performance! And like you said, what a
Jonas's
glow up,
mom.
basically from
Yeah,
30th
just,
to 19th to now tied for third.
Regardless, the rise of Terry just, it's
impressive.
It's impressive, yeah.
With that match, the finals are set. Terry Purcell is out. Once again, the bracket comes down to Harry Hong versus Jonas Neubauer. In the final episode, Harry and Jonas face off for the third time in 5 years.
Go Jonas!
So when you play in tournaments, playing against another player, you just get those shots. And, best 2 out of 3, best 3 out of 5, every game matters. Like, being good and being able to execute the perfect game is one thing, but if things go wrong, can you adapt? Are you adaptable? Can you handle the situations that you create? So that's the difference. You can't just ditch your game. You have to learn from those mistakes. And when I played in the Sonic tournament, it was collecting rings, and if Sonic ever gets hit, he loses all the rings. So because rings were the score in my game, every run I did had to be mistake-free, because the second my Sonic got hit and I messed up, I was not just out of that round, I was out of the tournament completely. So I really relate to, this is your shot, you get one shot at it, everything matters, you can't just walk away. You have to be able to recover from your mistakes should they happen.
So true, Chris Tang, so true. The last episode's an hour, we won't watch it. We'll watch the last episode next time. The big finale. So everyone can get a good night's rest. Can watch the last episode together. What will happen? Don't look it up. Don't Google it. Live in the drama of the video. The rematch. What else should we watch? Mr. Beast is a fraud. There's XTC Order right there. We can watch that. I guess these are the things I like. Tetris, GeoGuessr, Mr. Beast Expose, Elden Ring. And I don't even know what this is. This looks like Valorant or something. Why would they recommend that to me? Squeeze me. Yeah, it's late for me too. So all good. Check the internet. Okay. I was like, Grom's not streaming. Oh no, but he is streaming. He just has a lot of viewers. So many viewers. But he is playing Pokemon. Pokemon gross. Nick, you're going to have to stay up late and watch Pokemon. All right, catch you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out. Good conversations, good times. See ya. Bye-bye.